What if the biggest thing holding you back is not your situation, not your past, not the people around you, and not even your lack of talent? What if the real reason your life has not changed is because the weaker version of you keeps winning the private battles nobody can see? Every day there is a silent war inside you. One part of you wants growth, success, respect, discipline, and a better future. But another part of you wants comfort, delay, excuses, scrolling, sleeping longer, and starting tomorrow. The dangerous part is that this battle does not look dramatic. It looks like one missed morning, one delayed task, one broken promise, one more excuse, and one more day where you say, "I will do it later." But later is not harmless. Later is where dreams begin to die quietly. Later is where confidence becomes weaker. Later is where regret starts building its home inside your heart. This audiobook is not here to gently motivate you for a few minutes. It is here to wake up the part of you that is tired of losing to laziness. It is here to remind you that your future will not be saved by your mood, your dream will not be built by comfort, and your life will not change until you force yourself to move, especially when you do not feel like it. Because the truth is simple: if you do not force yourself to win now, regret will force you to suffer later. 1. Force yourself before regret forces you. There comes a time when life stops listening to your excuses. You can keep saying, "I will start tomorrow," but tomorrow keeps becoming another tomorrow. You can wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right time, and the right feeling, but while you are waiting, time is still moving forward. The world does not pause because you feel lazy. Your goals do not come closer because you are thinking about them. Your future does not become better just because you want it. Something has to change, and that change must begin with you. Regret does not come all at once. It comes slowly. It begins with one small delay, then another delay, then another broken promise to yourself. At first, it does not feel dangerous. You think, "It is only one day." You think, "I will do it later." You think, "I still have time." But after many days, you look back and realize that the small delays became months, and the months became years. Then the pain becomes heavy because you finally understand that you did not lose because you were weak. You lost because you kept waiting when you should have started. This is why you must force yourself before regret forces you. Discipline may feel hard today, but regret feels much harder later. Discipline asks you to wake up, focus, work, learn, train, and keep going even when you do not feel like it. Regret asks you to live with the thought of what your life could have been if you had taken yourself seriously earlier. Discipline may make you uncomfortable for a few hours, but regret can stay in your heart for years. Think about the person you want to become. That person is not built by wishing. That person is built by action. You do not need to do everything perfectly. You only need to stop giving up before you begin. Take one step, do one small task. Start with what is in front of you. If you cannot work for 1 hour, work for 10 minutes. If you cannot finish everything, finish one thing. If you feel lazy, do it slowly, but do not do nothing. The strongest people are not always the people who feel motivated every day. They are the people who move even when their mind says, "Not now." They understand that feelings change, but time does not return. They know that every day they waste is a day they cannot get back. So they do not wait for life to become easy. They start while it is hard. They start while they are tired. They start while they are afraid. They start because they know that waiting will only make the pain bigger. So force yourself now while you still have time. Push yourself before life pushes you through regret. Start before your dream becomes only a memory in your mind. Move before your future self looks back and asks why you kept choosing comfort over growth. The pain of effort is temporary, but the pain of wasted time can follow you for a long time. Do not wait until regret becomes your teacher. Let discipline teach you now, while you still have the chance to change your life. 2. Nobody is coming to save you from your own laziness. Nobody is coming to live your life for you. Nobody is coming to wake up early for you, do the work for you, build your dream for you, or fix the habits that are holding you back. People can support you, they can give advice, they can motivate you for a short time. But when the real moment comes, when you are alone with your choices, the decision is still yours. You are the one who must stand up. You are the one who must begin. You are the one who must stop waiting for someone else to push you every time. This is a hard truth, but it is also a powerful truth. Because when you understand that nobody is coming to save you, you stop waiting like a helpless person. You stop blaming your mood, your past, your situation, your family, your friends, or the world. You begin to understand that your life will not change until your actions change. Your future is not waiting for another person to rescue you. Your future is waiting for you to take yourself seriously. Laziness is dangerous because it makes you believe that you still have plenty of time. It tells you to rest today and start tomorrow. It tells you that one more hour of scrolling will not hurt. It tells you that missing one day is not a big deal. But laziness never stops at one day. It keeps asking for more comfort, more delay, more excuses, more empty promises. Slowly it teaches you to accept less from yourself. Slowly it makes you comfortable with a life you do not even like. The problem is not that you are tired sometimes. Everyone gets tired. The problem is when tiredness becomes your excuse for everything. The problem is when you keep choosing easy things while expecting a better life. You cannot keep doing nothing and expect everything to change. You cannot keep avoiding effort and expect success to appear. You cannot keep running from discipline and expect confidence to grow. Confidence comes when you prove to yourself that you can do what you said you would do. You may be waiting for motivation, but motivation is not always reliable. Some days it comes, and some days it disappears. Some days you feel excited, and some days you feel empty. That is why you cannot build your life only on feelings. You must build it on responsibility. Responsibility means you do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. It means you stop asking, "Do I feel ready?" and start asking, "What does my future need from me today?" Nobody is coming to save you from the habits you keep protecting. Nobody is coming to take the phone out of your hand, close the distractions, open the book, start the workout, write the plan, or make the first move. You must become that person for yourself. You must become the one who tells yourself the truth. You must become the one who says, "Enough. I cannot keep living like this. I cannot keep delaying my own life." So stop waiting for rescue. Stop waiting for the perfect day. Stop waiting for someone to force you. You already know what you need to do. Start small, but start honestly. Take one step today that proves you are no longer controlled by laziness. Because the moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you, you begin to save yourself. 3. The life you want is being delayed by the version of you that keeps choosing easy. The life you want may not be as far away as you think. Many times the problem is not that your dream is impossible. The problem is that the version of you living today keeps choosing the easy path. You want a better future, but you keep repeating the same habits. You want more confidence, but you keep breaking promises to yourself. You want change, but you keep waiting for change to feel comfortable. This is why your life feels stuck, because the person you are right now keeps protecting comfort more than growth. Every day you are choosing between two versions of yourself. One version wants discipline, progress, strength, and respect. The other version wants comfort, delay, distraction, and excuses. The hard truth is that the version you feed the most becomes stronger. When you choose scrolling over working, comfort over effort, sleeping too long over starting your day, or complaining over improving, you are feeding the weaker version of yourself. You may not notice it in one day, but slowly that weaker version begins to control more of your life. This does not mean you are a bad person. It means you have allowed comfort to become too powerful. The easy path always looks harmless at first. It says rest a little more. It says start later. It says you can do it tomorrow. It says you are not ready yet. But the easy path has a hidden cost. It takes away your time. It weakens your confidence. It makes your goals feel farther away. It makes you feel disappointed in yourself because deep inside, you know you are capable of more. The life you want requires a different version of you. It requires the version of you that can do the work even when it feels boring. It requires the version of you that can start even when your mood is low. It requires the version of you that can say no to short pleasure because you want long-term pride. You cannot become that person by only wishing. You become that person by making better choices in small moments. You become that person when you choose what is necessary, not only what is easy. Many people think change begins with one big moment, but real change often begins with small private decisions. It begins when you wake up and do not go back to sleep. It begins when you put the phone down and focus for a few minutes. It begins when you start the work even though you feel lazy. It begins when you stop waiting for the perfect mood and simply do what needs to be done. These small moments may look simple, but they are powerful because they prove that the old version of you is no longer in full control. You must understand that the weaker version of you will not disappear by itself. It will keep asking for comfort. It will keep telling you to delay. It will keep making excuses sound reasonable. That is why you must lead yourself with discipline. You must tell yourself, I know what I feel, but I also know what I want. You must remind yourself that the life you want cannot be built by the habits that keep you stuck. If you want something different, you must start choosing differently, even in the smallest parts of your day. So stop blaming distance, time, luck, or other people. Look honestly at the choices you keep making. The future you want is waiting for the version of you that is serious enough to stop choosing easy every time life asks for effort. You do not need to change everything in one day, but you must stop giving your weakest habits permission to delay your strongest dreams. The moment you stop choosing easy over necessary, your life begins to move in a new direction. 4. Your feelings are not your leader. Stop obeying them. Your feelings are real, but they are not always right. Some days you will feel ready, and some days you will feel lazy. Some days you will feel strong, and some days you will feel weak. Some days you will feel excited about your goals, and some days you will feel like doing nothing at all. This is normal, because feelings change all the time. They come and go like weather. But the mistake many people make is that they allow their feelings to become the leader of their life. They wait to feel motivated before they move. They wait to feel confident before they start. They wait to feel powerful before they take action. Because of this, their life keeps stopping and starting, and they never build real progress. If your feelings are always in control, your future will never be stable. One day your feelings will say, work hard. The next day they will say, rest more. One day they will say, you can do this. The next day they will say, this is too hard. One day they will push you forward, and the next day they will pull you back. This is why you cannot let feelings sit in the driver's seat. Feelings can travel with you, but they should not control the direction. Your goals should lead. Your discipline should lead. Your decision should lead. Feelings can speak, but they should not command. Many people think they must feel motivated before they can begin, but motivation is not something you can trust every day. Motivation may visit you for a short time, but it does not always stay. It can come after watching a powerful video, hearing strong words, or imagining a better future. But when the hard work begins, motivation often becomes quiet. This is where most people quit. They think, I do not feel the same energy anymore, so maybe I should stop. But the truth is, you are not supposed to depend on energy alone. Energy changes, mood changes, desire changes. Discipline is what carries you when feelings disappear. There will be many moments when your feelings try to protect your comfort. They will say you are tired. They will say you deserve a break. They will say start tomorrow. They will say this is not the right time. Sometimes those feelings may sound gentle, but they can still keep you trapped. Of course, real rest is important, and your body does need care, but there is a difference between real rest and using tiredness as a place to hide. Real rest helps you return stronger. Escaping keeps you in the same place. Deep inside, you usually know the difference. You know when you truly need rest, And you know when you are only avoiding effort. If you only do what feels easy, you will never become strong. Strength is built when you do what is needed, even when you do not feel like doing it. A student does not become successful only by studying when studying feels fun. A business does not grow only when the owner feels excited. A strong body is not built only on the days when exercise feels easy. A better life is not created only during perfect moods. It is created in ordinary moments, when you are tired, bored, distracted, or doubtful, but you still choose the right action. This is the point where you must learn to speak to yourself with honesty. When your feelings say, "I do not want to do this," you can answer, "I understand, but I am still going to begin." When your mind says, "Do it later," you can answer, "No, I will do a small part now." When your body says, "Stay comfortable," you can answer, "Comfort has kept me stuck for too long." You do not need to hate your feelings. You do not need to fight yourself with anger. You only need to stop obeying every emotion like it is the truth. Your feelings may be loud, but they are not stronger than your decision. A feeling can tell you to delay, but it cannot force you to delay unless you agree with it. A feeling can tell you to quit, but it cannot make you quit unless you give it permission. A feeling can tell you that you are not ready, but readiness is not always required for action. Sometimes you become ready after you start. Sometimes confidence comes after the first step. Sometimes energy appears after movement begins. This is why waiting for feelings can be so dangerous, because the very feeling you are waiting for may only come after you take action. Think about how many times you did not want to begin, but after starting, the task became easier. Before you started, your mind made it look huge. It made the work feel heavy. It made the first step feel painful. But once you moved, even a little, the fear became smaller, the laziness became weaker, the task became clearer. This happens because action changes your state. Sitting still gives your excuses more time to grow, but movement breaks their power. You do not always need a better feeling before you move. Many times you need movement before you get a better feeling. This is how winners live. They do not wake up every day feeling unstoppable. They also have heavy days. They also feel doubt. They also feel tired. They also have moments when their mind wants the easy way. The difference is that they have trained themselves not to obey every feeling. They have learned to respect their goals more than their mood. They have learned that a lazy feeling is not a command. A fearful feeling is not a stop sign. A tired feeling is not always a reason to quit. They feel the resistance, but they do not hand over control. You must become the same way. You must stop asking your feelings for permission to grow. You must stop waiting for your mood to approve your future. Your dream does not need your emotions to be perfect. It needs your actions to become consistent. Even if you feel lazy, take one step. Even if you feel nervous, begin with what you can do. Even if you feel low, complete one small task. Every time you act while your feelings are against you, you become stronger inside. You prove to yourself that your life is not controlled by every passing emotion. The more you practice this, the more your identity changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who needs to feel ready. You start seeing yourself as someone who can move even when ready is not there. This builds real self-respect. Because you begin to trust yourself. You know that even when your mood is low, you will still show up. You know that even when comfort calls you, you will not always answer. You know that even when your feelings change, your decision can remain strong. So remember this clearly, your feelings are not your leader. They are only visitors. They can come, speak, and leave, but they do not get to rule your life. Your future must be led by your purpose, your discipline, and your decision to become better. Do not wait until you feel powerful to act. Act, and slowly you will become powerful. Do not wait until fear disappears. Move, and fear will lose its control. Do not wait until laziness becomes silent. Begin while it is still talking. Because the day you stop obeying every feeling is the day you start taking back authority over your life. 5. Comfort is quietly turning you into someone you will not respect. Comfort does not always look dangerous in the beginning. It looks soft, it looks safe, it looks like rest. It looks like one more hour in bed, one more day of delay, one more video, one more excuse, one more promise that you will start later. Comfort rarely attacks your life loudly. It does not come like an enemy with a warning sign. It comes like a friend. It tells you that you deserve to relax. It tells you that you have time. It tells you that there is no need to push yourself today. But if you keep listening to comfort every time discipline calls you, slowly, without noticing, you begin to become a person you do not fully respect. The danger of comfort is not that it feels good. Rest can be good. Peace can be good. Taking care of yourself can be good. The danger begins when comfort becomes your hiding place. It begins when comfort becomes the reason you keep avoiding what you know you must do. It begins when you use comfort to escape growth, escape responsibility, escape effort, and escape the hard truth about your life. At that point, comfort is no longer helping you recover. It is helping you stay the same. Many people think failure comes from one big mistake, but most of the time failure is built through small, easy choices repeated for a long time. It is built when you say "not today" again and again. It is built when you know you should work, but you choose distraction. It is built when you know you should improve, but you choose complaining. It is built when you know you should start, but you keep waiting for the perfect mood. These choices may look small, but they are shaping you. Every choice is teaching your mind what kind of person you are becoming. When you keep choosing comfort over discipline, you slowly lose trust in yourself. This is one of the deepest pains a person can feel. You may still smile in front of people. You may still act normal. You may still tell others that everything is fine, but inside you know the truth. You know how many promises you have broken to yourself. You know how many times you said, "This time I will change," and then return to the same habits. You know how many mornings you wasted, how many chances you ignored, and how many days you allowed to pass without real effort. After a while, it becomes harder to believe your own words. Self-respect is not built by what you say in public. It is built by what you do in private. It is built in the moments when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody is forcing you, and when nobody will know whether you tried or not. In those private moments, you are either building respect for yourself or losing it. When you do what you said you would do, even in a small way, your self-respect grows. But when you keep choosing comfort while knowing you are avoiding your responsibility, your self-respect becomes weaker. This is why comfort can be so dangerous. It gives you a quick feeling of relief, but it takes away something much bigger. It takes away your confidence. It takes away your hunger. It takes away your discipline. It takes away your belief that you can trust yourself. You may enjoy the comfort for a moment, but later, when you are alone with your thoughts, the pain comes back. You feel disappointed. You feel behind. You feel like you are wasting your own potential. That feeling is not random. It is your inner self reminding you that you were made for more than repeating the same easy choices. Comfort often makes a person weak in ways they cannot see immediately. If you avoid hard work today, nothing may seem to happen. If you skip one day, the world may not fall apart. If you delay one task, nobody may notice, but your mind notices, your character notices, your future notices. Every time you choose the easy path when you know you should choose effort, you train yourself to escape pressure. Then the next time pressure comes, it becomes easier to run again, slowly. Avoiding effort becomes your normal habit, and when effort becomes necessary, you feel unprepared. A person who always chooses comfort becomes afraid of difficulty. Small tasks begin to feel big. Simple discipline begins to feel heavy. Starting something becomes painful. Staying consistent becomes rare. This happens because comfort makes the mind soft. It teaches the mind to expect life to feel easy before taking action. But life does not work like that. Success does not always feel easy. Growth does not always feel comfortable. Building a better future often feels boring, tiring, and difficult in the beginning. If you cannot handle discomfort, You cannot carry the life you keep asking for. Think about the person you want to become. That person cannot be built inside constant comfort. A strong body is not built by avoiding exercise. A strong mind is not built by avoiding challenges. A strong future is not built by avoiding responsibility. A strong character is not built by doing only what feels pleasant. Everything valuable asks for some discomfort. Learning asks for focus. Fitness asks for effort. Success asks for patience. Discipline asks for sacrifice. Confidence asks for action. A better life asks you to give up some of the easy habits that are keeping you stuck. Comfort will always offer you a cheaper version of happiness. It will give you quick pleasure instead of deep satisfaction. It will give you temporary escape instead of real progress. It will give you a soft bed instead of a strong morning. It will give you distractions instead of achievement. It will give you rest without purpose, but later it will leave you with regret. Discipline is different. Discipline may feel harder in the moment, but it gives you something comfort cannot give. It gives you pride. It gives you self-trust. It gives you growth. It gives you the quiet respect that comes when you know you did not betray yourself. There is a big difference between enjoying life and escaping life. Enjoying life means you rest after effort. Escaping life means you rest instead of effort. Enjoying life means you take care of yourself so you can return stronger. Escaping life means you hide from responsibility and call it self-care. Enjoying life gives peace. Escaping life gives guilt. This difference matters because many people confuse laziness with rest. They say they are protecting their peace, but deep inside they are avoiding the work that would actually give them peace. Real peace does not come from avoiding your responsibilities. Real peace comes from knowing you faced them. Real peace comes when you finish what you needed to finish. Real peace comes when you stop running from your own life. You may feel relaxed while avoiding the work, but that relaxation is weak because guilt is sitting behind it. True rest feels different. True rest feels clean. It comes after effort. It comes after honesty. It comes after you know you did not waste the day completely. Comfort becomes dangerous when it starts making decisions for you. It decides when you wake up. It decides when you work. It decides when you stop. It decides how much effort you give. It decides what you avoid. It decides what you postpone. When comfort becomes your leader, your life becomes smaller. You stop chasing big goals because they feel too hard. You stop trying new things because they feel uncomfortable. You stop taking risks because they feel scary. You stop growing because growth asks you to leave the place where everything feels familiar. But familiar does not always mean good. Sometimes familiar only means repeated. You can be familiar with a life that makes you unhappy. You can be familiar with habits that weaken you. You can be familiar with excuses that keep you behind. You can be familiar with a version of yourself that you secretly want to leave behind. This is why you must be careful. The life that feels comfortable today may become the life you feel trapped in tomorrow. One day you may look at yourself and realize that you are not angry because life was hard. You are angry because you kept choosing what was easy. You are not hurt only because opportunities were missing. You are hurt because some opportunities were there, but you did not take them seriously. You are not disappointed because you had no time. You are disappointed because you had time, but you gave it away to distractions. This kind of regret is heavy because it does not come from what others did to you. It comes from knowing what you did not do for yourself. That is why you must interrupt comfort before it becomes your identity. Do not wait until laziness becomes your personality. Do not wait until delay becomes your normal way of living. Do not wait until you stop expecting more from yourself. The more you repeat an easy habit, the harder it becomes to break. But the good news is that you can begin again. You can start rebuilding self-respect with one honest action. You can start becoming stronger with one disciplined choice. You can start proving to yourself that comfort is not your master. You do not need to change your whole life in one day. Start with one area where comfort has been controlling you. Maybe it is your morning. Maybe it is your phone. Maybe it is your sleep. Maybe it is your work. Maybe it is your health. Maybe it is your studies. Maybe it is your dream that you keep delaying. Choose one place and take back control. Do something small, but do it seriously. Wake up when you said you would. Work for the time you promised. Put the phone away for a while. Finish one task. Take one step that shows your mind you are no longer obeying comfort without question. At first, this will feel hard because your old habits will fight back. Your mind will ask for the old comfort. Your body will want the easy path. Your emotions will say, "Why are we doing this?" But you must stay calm and keep moving. You are not punishing yourself. You are training yourself. You are teaching your mind that comfort is allowed, but it is not in charge. You are teaching your body that effort will not destroy you. You are teaching your future that you are finally serious. The more you choose discipline, the more your self-respect returns. It may not happen in one day, but it will happen. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become a little stronger. Every time you do the work before the distraction, you become a little more confident. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you become a little more proud of who you are. This pride is not loud, it is quiet. It is the feeling of knowing that even if life is not perfect, you are no longer betraying yourself the way you used to. Comfort will not disappear. It will still call you. It will still whisper that you should delay. It will still make the easy path look attractive. But you must remember what it costs. It costs time. It costs progress. It costs confidence. It costs self-respect. It costs the future version of you who is waiting for you to become serious. When you understand the price of comfort, it becomes easier to say no to it. This does not mean you should never rest. Rest is important. Your mind and body need recovery. But rest should support your purpose, not replace it. Rest should help you return stronger, not keep you away from your goals. Rest should refresh you, not become an excuse to avoid life. The strongest people know how to rest, but they do not worship comfort. They know how to pause, but they do not disappear into delay. They know how to recover, but they return to the work. So ask yourself honestly, is your comfort helping you, or is it slowly weakening you? Is it giving you peace, or is it helping you avoid responsibility? Is it building your life, or is it making you accept less than you know you can become? These questions may be uncomfortable, but they are necessary, because sometimes the person you are becoming is being shaped by the choices you keep calling small. You deserve a life you can respect. You deserve to look at yourself and feel proud that you did not waste your chances. You deserve to build confidence that comes from action, not only imagination, but that life will not be built if comfort keeps winning every battle. You must decide that your future is worth more than your temporary ease. You must decide that your self-respect is worth more than one more lazy day. You must decide that you are no longer available for the habits that make you feel weak inside. Comfort may feel sweet now, but regret tastes bitter later. Discipline may feel hard now, but it gives you strength later. Choose the pain that builds you, not the comfort that breaks you slowly. Choose the effort that makes you proud, not the ease that makes you disappointed. Choose the version of yourself that you can respect when the day is over. Because the most painful thing is not hard work. The most painful thing is becoming someone you know you could have been stronger than. So do not let comfort quietly turn you into someone you cannot respect. Take back your day. Take back your habits. Take back your promises. Take back your future one action at a time. Start where you are, with what you have, even if it feels small. The moment you choose discipline over easy comfort, you begin to return to yourself. And the more you return to yourself, the more you become the kind of person who does not need to pretend confidence because you have earned it through action. 6. The first move is the door between your old life and your new life. The first move is always important because it decides whether you stay the same or begin to change. Many people look at their goal and think the whole journey is the problem, but most of the time the biggest problem is not the whole journey. The biggest problem is the beginning. Before you start, everything feels heavy. The work looks too much. The goal looks too far. The mind starts creating excuses. The body starts asking for comfort. the heart starts feeling fear. But the truth is simple. Your new life does not begin when everything is perfect. Your new life begins the moment you make the first move. The first move may look small from the outside, but inside it is powerful. It may be opening the laptop. It may be standing up from the bed. It may be writing the first sentence. It may be reading the first page. It may be putting on your shoes. It may be cleaning one small place. It may be sending one message. It may be starting one task you have been avoiding. To someone else, it may look like nothing, but to you, it is a sign that the old version of you is not fully in control anymore. Your old life is built on the same repeated choices, the same delay, the same excuses, the same comfort, the same promise that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow does not become different by itself. Tomorrow changes when you stop repeating the same behavior today. This is why the first move matters so much. It breaks the pattern. It tells your mind, we are not doing the same thing again. It tells your habits, you are not leading me today. It tells your future, I am ready to begin even if I am not ready to finish everything. Many people wait because they think they need a big feeling before they can start. They wait for strong motivation. They wait for confidence. They wait for energy. They wait for the perfect plan. They wait until fear disappears. But waiting can become a trap. The more you wait, the heavier the task feels. The more you think, the more excuses appear. The more you delay, the more power laziness gains. That is why you must learn to move before your mind talks you out of moving. The first move is the door because it takes you from thinking into action. Thinking has its place, but thinking without action can become a prison. You can think about your dream for years and still remain in the same place. You can imagine a better life every night and still wake up to the same habits every morning. You can plan, wish, and hope, but until you act, nothing truly changes. Action is what opens the door. Action is what turns a dream into something real. Most people do not fail because they cannot do the work. They fail because they never begin the work properly. They let the beginning scare them. They look at the full mountain and forget that climbing begins with one step. They look at the full book and forget that reading begins with one page. They look at the full body transformation and forget that fitness begins with one workout. They look at the full business and forget that building begins with one action. They look at the full future and forget that the future begins with the decision they make right now. When you are lazy, the first move feels uncomfortable. It feels like your whole body is fighting against you. Your mind may say later. Your body may say rest. Your mood may say not now. But you must understand something clearly. This resistance is normal. It does not mean you are weak. It does not mean you cannot win. It only means your old habits are trying to stay alive. Old habits do not leave quietly. They fight because they know that once you begin moving, they start losing control. This is why you should not wait until the resistance disappears. Begin while it is still there. Start while you still feel lazy. Move while your mind is still complaining. Do one small thing while your old self is still trying to pull you back. This is how you build strength. You do not become disciplined by waiting for discipline to feel easy. You become disciplined by acting while it still feels hard. Each time you do this, the next first move becomes a little easier. The first move also changes your emotions. Before you start, you may feel fear, laziness, confusion, or pressure. But after you start, your mind begins to settle. The work becomes clearer. The fear becomes smaller. The laziness becomes weaker. The pressure begins to break. Many times, the hardest part was not the work itself. The hardest part was sitting still and thinking about the work for too long. Stillness gives excuses time to grow, but movement cuts them down. Think about how often this has happened in your own life. Maybe you did not want to clean your room, but once you started, you kept going. Maybe you did not want to study, but after opening the book, it became easier. Maybe you did not want to exercise, but after the first few minutes, your body woke up. Maybe you did not want to write, but after the first line, more words came. This proves that the first move carries power. It does not only start the task, it changes your state. The old version of you wants everything to feel easy before taking action. But the new version of you must understand that ease often comes after action, not before it. You do not always feel ready first and then begin. Sometimes you begin first, and readiness follows. You do not always feel confident first and then act. Sometimes you act first, and confidence begins to grow. You do not always feel strong first and then move. Sometimes you move first, and strength appears because you refuse to stay still. The first move does not need to be big. This is very important. Many people fail because they make the first move too large in their mind. They think, if I cannot do everything, I will do nothing. They think, if I cannot work for 3 hours, there is no point. They think, if I cannot make perfect progress, I should wait. This way of thinking is dangerous because it turns small progress into nothing. You do not need to do everything today. You only need to do something today. If you cannot work for 1 hour, work for 10 minutes. If you cannot read 1 chapter, read 1 page. If you cannot clean the whole room, clean 1 corner. If you cannot start the full project, write the first idea. If you cannot do a complete workout, do a small one. A small, honest action is better than a big plan that never starts. Small action creates movement, and movement creates momentum. Once momentum begins, your mind starts believing that change is possible. The first move is also a message to yourself. It says, I am not helpless. It says, I can still choose. It says, my habits may be strong, but they are not stronger than my decision. This message matters because many people lose confidence after breaking promises to themselves for too long. They stop trusting their own words. They say, I will start, but deep inside they do not believe it. The only way to rebuild that trust is through action, not through more talking, not through more wishing, not through more planning, through action. Every time you make the first move, you rebuild a little self-respect. You prove that you can still lead yourself. You prove that your feelings are not your master. You prove that your old habits do not own you. Even if the action is small, it matters because it shows that you are not completely controlled by laziness. The more often you prove this, the more your identity begins to change. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always delays. You start seeing yourself as someone who begins. There is a deep difference between a person who waits and a person who begins. The person who waits keeps giving power to fear. The person who begins takes power back. The person who waits keeps imagining problems. The person who begins starts finding solutions. The person who waits becomes more trapped in their thoughts. The person who begins receives real feedback from life. Action teaches you things that thinking alone cannot teach you. You learn by moving. You grow by trying. You become stronger by beginning. Your old life will always invite you back. It will remind you of what is comfortable. It will tell you that changing is too hard. It will tell you that you have failed before, so why try again? It will use your past against you. It will remind you of every time you started and stopped. But you must answer with action. You do not defeat the old life by arguing with it in your mind. You defeat it by doing something different today. The old life is not only a place, it is a pattern. It is the pattern of delay, the pattern of giving up, the pattern of avoiding discomfort, the pattern of choosing what feels easy instead of what is necessary. The new life is also a pattern. It is the pattern of starting, the pattern of trying again, the pattern of keeping promises, the pattern of choosing discipline even when it is not easy. The first move is the bridge between those two patterns. This is why the beginning matters more than you think. When you make the first move, you are not only starting a task, you are voting for a new identity. You are saying, I am becoming the kind of person who acts. You are saying, I am becoming the kind of person who does not wait forever. You are saying, I am becoming the kind of person who respects the future enough to begin today. This identity is built slowly, but it begins with the first move. Do not make the mistake of waiting for your life to feel different before you act differently. Many people say, when I feel better, I will start. but often you feel better because you start. Many people say, when I become confident, I will take action. But often, confidence comes because you took action. Many people say, when I have more energy, I will move. But often, energy comes after movement. You must stop placing action on the other side of feelings. Place action first, and many feelings will follow. The first move also destroys the illusion that the task is impossible. Before you begin, your mind can make the task look huge. It can make your goal look far away. It can make the work look painful. But once you start, you see the truth more clearly. You realize that you can handle the next step. You realize that you do not need to solve everything at once. You realize that the task becomes smaller when you stop looking at it from a distance and begin touching it with action. Many people are not lazy in their hearts. They are overwhelmed. They look at everything they need to fix and it feels too much. They think about their health, money, career, habits, confidence, relationships, and future all at once. And because it feels heavy, they do nothing. But you do not need to fix your whole life in one day. You only need to choose one door and open it. One task, one habit, one small action, one honest beginning. That is enough to start changing your direction. When you make the first move, do not judge it too quickly. Do not say this is too small. Do not say this will not matter. Small things matter when they are repeated with honesty. A small action today can become a habit tomorrow. A habit tomorrow can become a new lifestyle. A new lifestyle can become a completely different future. The first move may look small, but it carries the seed of everything that comes after it. Imagine a person who wants to become healthier. The first move may be drinking water instead of another sugary drink. It may be walking for 10 minutes. It may be sleeping earlier. It may be preparing one better meal. These actions do not look huge, but they open the door. Imagine a person who wants to build a career. The first move may be learning one skill, applying for one opportunity, improving one resume, sending one email, or practicing 1 hour. These are small doors, but they lead somewhere. Imagine a person who wants to change their mindset. The first move may be refusing one excuse, finishing one task, or speaking to themselves with more honesty. This is how transformation begins. Your first move is not about proving everything to the world. It is about proving something to yourself. It proves that you are not finished. It proves that your past delays do not have the final word. It proves that even if you have wasted time before, you can still choose differently now. Many people stay stuck because they feel guilty about the time they lost. They think, I should have started earlier. Maybe that is true, but guilt will not give you back the past. Action can still protect your future. Do not let yesterday's failure stop today's beginning. Do not let the fact that you stopped before convince you that you cannot start again. Starting again is not weakness. Starting again is courage. Every person who changes their life must start again many times. The difference between those who win and those who stay stuck is not that winners never fall. The difference is that winners return to the first move. They begin again. They do not let one bad day become a bad life. The first move becomes even more powerful when you do it immediately. The longer you wait, the more your mind builds resistance. If you know what needs to be done, do not spend too much time negotiating with yourself. Count down if you need to. Stand up, open the task, begin. Even if you do not feel ready, begin. Your mind may resist at first, but once your body moves, your mind often follows. This is why speed matters. Quick action can defeat long excuses. You can make a simple rule for yourself. When you know the right action, take one small step within the next minute. Do not wait for your mood to improve. Do not wait until your excuses become quiet. Do not wait until you feel strong. Take one small step now. This rule trains your mind to become active instead of passive. It teaches you that decisions must become actions, not just thoughts. The first move also helps you escape the trap of perfection. Some people do not begin because they want the beginning to be perfect. They want the perfect plan, perfect words, perfect routine, perfect timing, and perfect energy. But perfect beginnings are rare. Most beginnings are messy. Most beginnings feel awkward. Most beginnings are small and unclear. That is normal. You do not need a perfect beginning. You need a real beginning. A messy start is better than a perfect excuse. A slow start is better than standing still. A small start is better than waiting for a big moment that may never come. You can improve after you begin. You can adjust after you begin. You can learn after you begin. But you cannot improve something that never starts. You cannot adjust a plan you never test. You cannot grow from action you never take. This is where many people misunderstand success. They think successful people started with perfect confidence, but many of them started confused, afraid, and unsure. They did not know every step. They did not have every answer, but they made the first move, then learned the next move, then made another move. That is how progress works. You do not need to see the full road before you take the first step. You only need enough courage to begin walking. The first move is also the moment where you take control back from your excuses. Excuses live in the space before action. They grow while you sit and think. They sound powerful when you are still, but once you begin, many excuses lose their voice. The excuse, "I cannot do this," becomes weaker when you are already doing a small part. The excuse, "I do not have time," becomes weaker when you use 10 minutes honestly. The excuse, "I am not ready," becomes weaker when you learn by moving. Action exposes excuses. Your new life does not need you to become perfect overnight. It only needs you to stop giving the old life full control. It needs you to interrupt the pattern. It needs you to make the first move again and again until beginning becomes normal. At first, you may have to force yourself. Later, it becomes easier. At first, your mind may fight. Later, it begins to trust the routine. At first, discipline may feel strange. Later, comfort without progress begins to feel strange. This is the beautiful part of change. What feels hard today can become normal later. What feels uncomfortable today can become your strength later. What feels like a small forced action today can become the foundation of your new identity later. But none of that happens if you never open the door. The door is the first move. So when you feel stuck, do not ask, "How can I fix my whole life?" Ask, "What is the first move?" When your goal feels too big, do not ask, "How can I finish everything?" Ask, "What is the next small step?" When your mind feels lazy, do not ask, "Why do I feel this way?" Ask, "What can I do for 5 minutes?" These questions are powerful because they bring your attention back to action. They stop your mind from drowning in the full problem and help you touch the next step. The first move may not change everything immediately, but it changes something important. It changes your position. You are no longer only wishing. You are no longer only waiting. You are no longer only talking. You are now moving, and once you are moving, life has something to work with. Your mind has evidence. Your confidence has a reason to grow. Your future has a beginning. You must respect the first move because every great change starts there. Every strong person began with a first act of discipline. Every completed project began with a first action. Every new identity began with one moment where the person decided, "I will not stay here anymore." That moment may be quiet. Nobody may notice. Nobody may clap. Nobody may understand. But you will know. You will know that something inside you has started to shift. Do not wait for a dramatic sign. Do not wait for someone to push you. Do not wait for life to become easy. The door is already in front of you, and the handle is your first move. Open it with one action. Open it even if your hand shakes. Open it even if you feel tired. Open it even if you have failed before. Open it because the old life will not release you while you are only thinking about change. It releases you when you begin living differently. So stand up where you are. Start with what you have. Do the small thing you have been avoiding. Take the first step before your mind builds another excuse. The first move is not small when it breaks a pattern that has kept you stuck for years. It is not small when it helps you rebuild trust in yourself. It is not small when it opens the door to a life you have been asking for. Your old life is behind the delay. Your new life is behind the first move. You do not need to feel ready to open the door. You only need to move. 7. Become the person who wins even when nothing inside wants to. There will be days when nothing inside you wants to win. You will wake up tired. Your mind will feel heavy. Your body will ask for comfort. Your emotions will tell you to delay everything. You may look at your goals and feel no excitement at all. You may remember your dream, but still feel no energy to work for it. This is the moment many people misunderstand. They think something is wrong because they do not feel motivated. They think they should wait until the fire comes back. But real strength is not proven when everything inside you feels ready. Real strength is proven when nothing inside you wants to move, and you still choose to move. Anybody can work when the mood is good. Anybody can make a plan when they feel inspired. Anybody can dream when life feels light. But the person who wins is not the person who only moves on good days. The person who wins is the person who has learned how to move on heavy days. They do not need every feeling to agree with them before they take action. They do not wait for the mind to become silent before they begin. They do not wait for laziness to disappear before they stand up. They understand that if they only act when they feel like it, their life will always be controlled by unstable feelings. This is where you must become different. You must stop thinking that discipline means you always feel strong. Discipline often means you feel weak, but you do the right thing anyway. Discipline means you feel lazy, but you begin anyway. Discipline means you feel tired, but you still complete what you can. Discipline means you feel fear, but you do not let fear make the decision. Discipline means you feel no excitement, but you still remember the life you are trying to build. This is how a new identity is created. Your old self waits for comfort. Your new self chooses responsibility. Your old self waits for motivation. Your new self starts with discipline. Your old self says, "I will do it when I feel better." Your new self says, "I may feel bad, but I can still do something." That difference may look small, but it changes everything. Because the moment you stop obeying every weak feeling, you begin to take control of your own life. There is a version of you that only wants the easy path. That version wants to sleep longer, scroll more, delay the work, avoid the hard conversations, skip the effort, and choose quick pleasure over long-term growth. That version is not evil, but it is afraid of discomfort. It wants safety more than success. It wants relief more than progress. It wants today to feel easy, even if tomorrow becomes painful. If you let that version lead you every day, your life will become smaller than your potential. But there is another version of you, a stronger version, a serious version, a version that knows you were not created just to keep breaking promises to yourself. This version understands that your future needs you to show up, even when your mood is not perfect. This version knows that every time you choose effort over comfort, you are becoming more trustworthy. This version does not need to feel ready to begin. It only needs to remember why the work matters. Winning when nothing inside wants to means you have decided that your future is more important than your mood. It means your dream is not something you only respect when you are excited. It means your goal is not just a thought you visit when life feels easy. It means you have made a serious decision to become the kind of person who can be trusted with responsibility. This is powerful because most people lose to their feelings every day. They allow one lazy mood to cancel an entire day. They allow one tired morning to destroy their plan. They allow one moment of discomfort to push them back into old habits. You must not be that person anymore. You must learn to say, "I do not feel like doing this, but I will still begin." You must learn to say, "My mood is low, but my standards are still high." You must learn to say, "My body wants comfort, but my future needs effort." This is not about being harsh with yourself. It is about being honest with yourself. You are not forcing yourself because you hate yourself. You are forcing yourself because you respect the person you are trying to become. Many people think self-love means always choosing comfort, but real self-love is deeper than that. Real self-love means you do not allow yourself to destroy your own future. Real self-love means you do not let laziness steal your confidence. Real self-love means you do not keep giving excuses to the habits that are hurting you. Real self-love means you care enough about yourself to do what is necessary, even when it is not easy. Sometimes loving yourself means resting, but sometimes loving yourself means getting up, facing the work, and refusing to betray your own promise again. The hardest part is that nobody may see these private battles. Nobody may know how much effort it took for you to begin. Nobody may know that you were tired. Nobody may know that you wanted to quit. Nobody may know that you had to fight your own mind just to take one step. But you will know, and that is what matters. Self-respect is built in places where nobody is watching. It is built when you choose the right action without applause. It is built when you keep going without praise. It is built when you do the work even when there is no audience, no reward, and no excitement in the moment. This is why the person who wins, even when nothing inside wants to, becomes dangerous to their excuses. Excuses cannot control a person who acts without permission from feelings. Laziness cannot easily defeat a person who knows how to begin while feeling lazy. Fear cannot fully stop a person who has learned to move while afraid. Doubt cannot destroy a person who understands that one small action is still better than no action. When you become this kind of person, life begins to change because you are no longer waiting for perfect conditions. Perfect conditions are rare. There will always be something that makes the work difficult. There will always be tiredness, pressure, distractions, problems, responsibilities, and unexpected situations. If you wait for everything to feel easy, you may wait your whole life. That is why you must become someone who can win in imperfect conditions. You must become someone who can take action when the day is messy, when the mood is low, when the plan is not perfect, and when life does not feel fair. This is how strong people are made. A weak habit grows when you obey it. A strong habit grows when you practice it. If you keep obeying laziness, laziness becomes stronger. If you keep obeying delay, delay becomes stronger. If you keep obeying comfort, comfort becomes stronger. But if you practice starting, starting becomes stronger. If you practice discipline, discipline becomes stronger. If you practice keeping promises to yourself, self-trust becomes stronger. This means you are not trapped forever. You are training something every day. The question is, are you training the version of you that quits, or the version of you that wins? Every day gives you a chance to train one of them. When you wake up and choose the easy path again, you train the quitter. When you begin even though you feel lazy, you train the winner. When you avoid the task, you train fear. When you take one step, you train courage. When you break your promise again, you train self-doubt. When you keep one small promise, you train self-respect. These choices may look simple, but they are shaping your identity. Identity is not built by one big speech. It is built by repeated proof. You become disciplined by proving discipline in small moments. You become focused by proving focus in small moments. You become strong by proving strength in small moments. You become someone who wins by proving again and again that you can act even when you do not feel like acting. This proof is powerful because your mind begins to believe what your actions keep showing it. Right now, you may not fully trust yourself because you have broken promises before. You may have said, "I will start," and then stopped. You may have said, "This time I will change," and then return to the same habit. You may have promised yourself a better life many times, but failed to follow through. That does not mean you are hopeless. It means your self-trust needs to be rebuilt. And the way to rebuild it is not with more words, it is with action, small action, honest action, repeated action. Do not wait until you feel like a winner to act like one. Act like one, and slowly you will start to feel like one. Do not wait until confidence appears before you keep your promise. Keep your promise, and confidence will begin to appear. Do not wait until laziness disappears before you start. Start, and laziness will begin to lose power. This is the secret many people miss. The feeling often comes after the action, not before it. When nothing inside wants to move, Reduce the task, but do not reduce your standard to zero. This is important. You do not always need to do a huge amount. On some days you may only have enough strength for a small step. That is okay. But do not do nothing if you can do something. If you cannot work for 2 hours, work for 20 minutes. If you cannot do a full workout, do a small workout. If you cannot write many pages, write 1 paragraph. If you cannot clean everything, clean 1 area. If you cannot make perfect progress, make honest progress. The goal is to teach yourself that even on hard days, you do not disappear. This creates a powerful identity. You become someone who shows up. And showing up matters more than people think. Showing up keeps the habit alive. Showing up protects your momentum. Showing up tells your mind, we do not quit just because today is difficult. Showing up proves that your future is not only important on easy days. Even a small effort can protect your identity when your emotions are weak. There is also a deep peace that comes after you do what you did not feel like doing. Before the action, the mind is full of resistance. During the action, it may still feel difficult, but after the action, something changes inside you. You feel lighter, you feel proud, you feel stronger. You feel like you have taken back control. That feeling is different from the quick pleasure of comfort. Comfort may feel good at first, but later it often brings guilt. Discipline may feel hard at first, but later it brings respect. This is why you must choose the pain that pays you back. The pain of discipline pays you back with confidence. The pain of effort pays you back with progress. The pain of consistency pays you back with growth, but the comfort of delay charges you later. It charges you with regret. It charges you with self-doubt. It charges you with the feeling that you are wasting your own ability. So do not only ask what feels easy right now. Ask what will make you proud later. The person who wins even when nothing inside wants to does not become strong in one day. They become strong through repeated choices. They win one morning, then another. They finish one task, then another. They resist one excuse, then another. They fail sometimes, but they return. They have weak moments, but they do not let weakness become their home. They understand that winning is not about never struggling. Winning is about not surrendering your whole life to the struggle. You will have bad days, you will have slow days, you will have days where you do less than you planned. Do not use that as a reason to quit completely. A slow day is not failure if you still move. A small step is not useless if it keeps you connected to your goal. A weak moment is not the end if you refuse to live there. Many people turn one bad day into a bad week, then a bad month, because they think if they cannot do everything perfectly, they should stop. Do not fall into that trap. Return quickly, begin again quickly, protect your direction. Direction matters. Even when you move slowly, if you are moving in the right direction, you are not lost. Even when progress feels small, if it is honest, it counts. Even when nobody notices, the effort is still shaping you. You may think nobody sees your discipline, but your future will see it. Your confidence will see it. Your character will see it. The person you become will be shaped by the days you refuse to quit, when quitting felt easy. There is a moment in life when you must stop being impressed by your own excuses. You must stop treating every feeling like a final decision. You must stop saying, "I am not in the mood," as if your mood is more important than your future. You must stop saying, "I am tired," when you know you still have enough strength to do one honest thing. You must stop giving your weakest moments the power to cancel your strongest goals. This is not easy, but it is necessary. The future you want will require a version of you that can be trusted. If your dream is big, your discipline must become stronger. If you want success, you must become the kind of person who does not need to be pushed every time. If you want confidence, you must become the kind of person who keeps promises to yourself. If you want respect, you must become the kind of person who respects their own word. You cannot keep abandoning yourself and expect to feel powerful. Power is not only loud, sometimes power is quiet. Power is getting up when nobody tells you to. Power is starting when your mind says later. Power is continuing when progress feels slow. Power is choosing the right thing even when the easy thing is available. Power is finishing the task after the excitement disappears. Power is refusing to let one lazy feeling control your whole day. This quiet power is what changes a person from the inside. When you become someone who wins even when nothing inside wants to, you begin to see yourself differently. You no longer see yourself as a person who is controlled by every mood. You no longer see yourself as someone who needs perfect conditions. You no longer see yourself as someone who always breaks promises. You begin to see yourself as dependable. You begin to see yourself as strong. You begin to see yourself as someone who can face difficulty and still choose action. This new self-image is valuable because people usually act according to how they see themselves. If you see yourself as lazy, you will keep excusing lazy behavior. If you see yourself as weak, you will keep accepting weakness. If you see yourself as someone who always fails, you may stop trying seriously. But when you begin to see yourself as someone who acts, someone who returns, someone who does not quit easily, your behavior begins to follow that identity. You start making choices that match the stronger person you believe you are becoming. This does not happen by pretending. It happens by proof. You prove it when you do the work. You prove it when you start again. You prove it when you choose discipline. You prove it when you keep moving through low motivation. Over time, your mind begins to say, "This is who I am now." That is when change becomes deeper. It is no longer only something you are trying to do. It becomes part of who you are. The world is full of people who want results without becoming the kind of person who can carry those results. They want success but not discipline. They want confidence but not effort. They want respect but not responsibility. They want a better future, but they keep protecting the same habits that built their current life. You must not live like that. You must understand that your dream is asking you to become someone new, not perfect but stronger, not fearless but braver, not always motivated but consistent. Consistency is not doing everything perfectly every day. Consistency is returning to the right path again and again. It is refusing to disappear for too long. It is refusing to let one weak day become your identity. It is choosing to continue because the goal matters. When you understand this, you stop being destroyed by small failures. You learn to recover faster. You learn to come back with less drama. You learn to keep moving because you no longer expect the journey to be easy every day. There will be moments when your mind says, "What is the point?" In those moments, remember that the point is not only the task, the point is who you become while doing it. The workout is not only about the body, it is about discipline. The study is not only about knowledge, it is about focus. The work is not only about money, it is about responsibility. The small action is not only about today, it is about identity. Every time you do what you said you would do, you become stronger than the version of you that wanted to quit. You must also remember that your future self is depending on your present choices. The person you will be next year is being shaped by what you repeat today. If you keep repeating excuses, your future self will carry the cost. If you keep repeating discipline, your future self will carry the reward. This is why today matters. Not because one day changes everything by itself, but because one day repeated becomes a life. Your life is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in the quiet choices you repeat when nobody is watching. So when nothing inside wants to win, do not panic. Do not think you are broken. Do not think you are finished. This is simply the training ground. This is where you learn who is really in control. Is laziness in control, or are you? Is fear in control, or are you? Is your mood in control, or are you? The answer is not given by words. The answer is given by your next action. Take the next action, not the perfect action, not the biggest action, the next honest action. Stand up, begin, open the work, do the first part, make the first call, read the first page, write the first line, move your body, clean the space, make the plan, take the step. Do something that proves you have not surrendered to the feeling, and after you take that step, Take another when you can. This is how winning is built, not always with excitement, not always with fire, not always with confidence. Sometimes winning is built with a tired mind, slow effort, and a quiet decision not to quit. Sometimes winning looks like doing the task with no motivation at all. Sometimes winning looks like showing up when nobody understands how hard it was. Sometimes winning looks like simply refusing to let the old version of you take the day back. Become the person who wins even when nothing inside wants to, because that person is free. They are not controlled by every mood. They are not trapped by every excuse. They are not waiting for life to feel perfect. They have learned that action is stronger than emotion, discipline is stronger than delay, and identity is stronger than temporary discomfort. One day you will look back and realize that the moments that changed you were not only the easy moments. They were the moments when you wanted to stop but continued. The moments when you wanted comfort but chose growth. The moments when you felt lazy but still began. The moments when nobody saw your battle, but you won it anyway. Those moments will become the foundation of your self-respect. So do not wait until everything inside you wants to win. Decide to win while part of you still wants to quit. Decide to begin while laziness is still talking. Decide to move while fear is still present. Decide to keep going while motivation is still missing. Because the strongest version of you is not built when life feels easy. It is built when you prove that your purpose is stronger than your mood. Your future is stronger than your comfort, and your decision is stronger than the voice inside you that keeps asking you to stop. 8. Your future self is begging you to stop giving up today. There is a version of you in the future who is watching the choices you are making right now. That future version of you will have to live with the results of what you do today. If you choose discipline today, your future self will thank you. If you choose delay today, your future self will carry the pain. This is why today is not just another day. Today is building something. Today is either building confidence or regret. Today is either building strength or weakness. Today is either moving you closer to the life you want or keeping you trapped in the life you keep saying you want to escape. Many people do not understand how powerful one day can be. They think one lazy day does not matter. They think one missed chance does not matter. They think one broken promise to themselves does not matter. But one day becomes a pattern when you repeat it. One excuse becomes a habit when you protect it. One delay becomes a lifestyle when you keep allowing it. The future is not built suddenly. It is built quietly through the small things you keep doing again and again. Your future self is not asking you to become perfect today. Your future self is not asking you to fix your whole life in one moment. Your future self is asking you to stop giving up so easily. Stop quitting the moment it feels hard. Stop delaying the moment effort is required. Stop running back to comfort every time discipline becomes uncomfortable. Stop treating your dream like something you only care about when you feel motivated. Your future self needs you to take your own life seriously now, because later you will have to live inside the results of your current decisions. Think about this carefully. The person you become tomorrow depends on what you practice today. If you practice laziness, laziness becomes stronger. If you practice excuses, excuses become stronger. If you practice quitting, quitting becomes easier. But if you practice discipline, discipline becomes stronger. If you practice starting, starting becomes easier. If you practice keeping promises to yourself, self-respect begins to return. You are always training something. Even when you think you are doing nothing, you are still training your mind to accept doing nothing. This is why you must become careful with your daily choices. A person does not become weak in one day. A person becomes weak by choosing the easy path again and again until the easy path becomes normal. A person does not lose confidence in one moment. A person loses confidence by breaking small promises to themselves again and again until their own words no longer feel believable. A person does not become stuck overnight. A person becomes stuck by repeating the habits that keep them in the same place. But the good news is that the opposite is also true. A person does not become strong in one day, but they become stronger by choosing effort again and again. A person does not become disciplined in one moment, but they become disciplined by doing what needs to be done again and again. A person does not rebuild their whole life instantly, but they rebuild it through small, honest actions repeated with patience. This means your life can change, but it will not change by wishing. It will change by the choices you repeat. Your future self is begging you to understand that delay is expensive. It may feel free today, but it always has a price later. When you delay your health, your future body pays. When you delay your learning, your future opportunities pay. When you delay your discipline, your future confidence pays. When you delay your dream, your future heart pays. Nothing is really free. Every choice has a cost, and every habit creates a result. If you keep choosing comfort now, do not be surprised when your future becomes uncomfortable. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you up. You still have time. You still have a chance. You still have breath in your body. You still have the ability to make a different decision. Maybe you have wasted time before. Maybe you have delayed too much. Maybe you have started and stopped many times. Maybe you feel disappointed in yourself. But as long as you are alive, your story is not finished. You can still begin again. You can still take one step. You can still rebuild the trust you lost with yourself. Do not use your past failure as proof that you cannot change. Use it as proof that you must change. If the old way did not work, stop protecting it. If the same habits keep producing the same pain, stop defending them. If laziness keeps leaving you with regret, stop treating it like a friend. If comfort keeps making you feel weak inside, stop giving it control over your day. You do not need to hate yourself for the past, but you must be honest enough to stop repeating it. Many people remain stuck because they keep waiting for a new life while living with old habits. They want new results, but they repeat old actions. They want confidence, but they keep breaking promises. They want success, but they keep avoiding effort. They want respect, but they do not respect their own word. They want peace, but they keep doing things that create guilt. This is why nothing changes. A new life cannot be built by the same version of you that keeps choosing delay. Your future self needs a different you today, not a perfect you, but a more honest you. A you who stops making excuses so quickly. A you who starts before feeling ready. A you who understands that discipline is not punishment. A you who knows that effort is not the enemy. A you who can look at laziness and say, "You have taken enough from me." A you who can look at comfort and say, "You can rest with me, but you cannot rule me." A you who can look at fear and say, "You can be here, but you cannot stop me." This is the kind of person your future is waiting for. Your future is not waiting for the perfect mood. It is waiting for the serious decision. It is waiting for the moment when you stop negotiating with weakness. It is waiting for the moment when you stop saying soon and start saying now. It is waiting for the moment when you understand that small actions done today are better than big plans delayed forever. You may feel like your small effort does not matter, but it matters more than you think. One small action can break the pattern of doing nothing. One small win can remind you that you are not helpless. One finished task can rebuild a little trust. One disciplined choice can prove that the old version of you is not in control. Small steps matter because they create movement. Movement matters because it creates belief. Belief matters because it helps you continue. Your future self is not asking you to become great in one day. Your future self is asking you not to disappear from your own life today. Do not disappear into scrolling. Do not disappear into excuses. Do not disappear into fear. Do not disappear into "I will start tomorrow." Show up in some way. Begin in some way. Fight back in some way. Even if the effort is small, make it real. Even if the progress is slow, make it honest. Even if you do not feel powerful, act like the future matters. There will be moments when you feel tired, and that is normal. There will be moments when you feel low, and that is normal. There will be moments when your mind wants the easy path, and that is normal. The problem is not having these feelings. The problem is letting these feelings lead your whole life. You can feel lazy and still act. You can feel tired and still complete one small task. You can feel afraid and still take one step. You can feel unmotivated and still keep your promise. That is how you become stronger. Not by waiting for the perfect emotional state, but by proving that your decision is stronger than your mood. Every time you act while your mood is weak, you send a message to your mind. You tell it, I am not controlled by every feeling. You tell it, I can move even when I do not feel like moving. You tell it, my future is more important than my comfort. Over time, this message becomes your identity. Identity is powerful because once you see yourself differently, you begin to live differently. If you keep seeing yourself as lazy, you will keep accepting lazy behavior. If you keep seeing yourself as someone who always quits, you will keep quitting. If you keep seeing yourself as someone who cannot change, you will stop trying seriously. But when you start proving through action that you are someone who begins, someone who returns, someone who keeps going, your self-image begins to change. You begin to believe, maybe I can trust myself again. That trust is one of the most important things you can rebuild. When you trust yourself, life feels different. You stop needing constant motivation from outside. You stop needing someone to push you every day. You stop waiting for another person to save you. You become your own proof. You know that even when it is hard, you can begin. You know that even when the day is not perfect, you can do something. You know that even when you fall, you can return. This kind of self-trust is not given. It is earned through action. Your future self will not care about how many excuses sounded reasonable today. Your future self will care about what you actually did. Your future self will not care that you were tired if you used tiredness as a reason to waste every chance. Your future self will not care that you were afraid if fear kept deciding your life. Your future self will not care that you had dreams if you never acted on them. Dreams without action become painful memories. Goals without discipline become stories of what could have been. This is why you must act while you still can. There may come a day when you wish you had the energy, time, and chances you have right now. There may come a day when you look back and realize that the moments you called ordinary were actually opportunities. There may come a day when you understand that your life was not waiting for one big miracle, but for small daily decisions that you kept ignoring. Do not wait for that day to wake you up through regret. Wake up now with discipline. Wake up now with honesty. Wake up now with one serious step. Do not wait until life becomes painful enough to force you. Do not wait until regret becomes heavy enough to break you. Do not wait until you lose something before you finally value time. Time is already valuable. Your dream is already valuable. Your future is already valuable. You do not need a disaster to become serious. You can become serious today. Ask yourself, what is one thing my future self needs from me today? Maybe your future self needs you to study. Maybe your future self needs you to exercise. Maybe your future self needs you to save money. Maybe your future self needs you to stop wasting hours online. Maybe your future self needs you to start the project. Maybe your future self needs you to sleep on time, wake up early, or finish the task you have been avoiding. Whatever it is, do not make it complicated. Choose one thing and do it. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to stop abandoning yourself. The goal is to stop letting every day pass without evidence that you are trying. The goal is to become the kind of person who can look back at the end of the day and say, I did not do everything, but I did not give up on myself today. That kind of day builds strength. That kind of day creates respect. That kind of day gives your future something to grow from. You may think you need a huge transformation, but sometimes the first transformation is very simple. It is the decision not to quit today. It is the decision not to delay the first step. It is the decision not to let laziness have full control. It is the decision to do one honest action, even when nothing inside feels ready. That simple decision can become the beginning of a completely different life. Do not underestimate what happens when you stop giving up. When you stop giving up, your confidence slowly returns. When you stop giving up, your discipline becomes stronger. When you stop giving up, your future begins to trust you. When you stop giving up, your old excuses start losing power. When you stop giving up, you begin to see that you were never as weak as your habits made you believe. You were only untrained. You were only repeating the wrong pattern. And patterns can be changed. Changing a pattern is not always easy, but it is possible. You change it by interrupting it. When you normally delay, begin. When you normally scroll, focus. When you normally quit, continue a little longer. When you normally complain, take responsibility. When you normally choose comfort, choose the action that will make you proud later. Every time you interrupt the old pattern, you weaken it. Every time you repeat the new pattern, you strengthen it. This is how your future self is built. Not through fantasy, but through repetition. Not through wishing, but through practice. Not through waiting, but through action. You do not become the person you want by thinking about that person all day. You become that person by doing what that person would do, especially when it is difficult. The stronger future version of you is not created in your imagination alone. It is created in your choices. One day your future self will look back at this season of your life. The question is, what will they feel? Will they feel thankful because you finally became serious? Will they feel proud because you stopped giving up? Will they feel peace because you did the work even when it was hard? Or will they feel pain because you kept choosing delay until the chance was gone? That answer is being written now, by your daily actions. Do not let your future self inherit your excuses. Let your future self inherit your courage. Let your future self inherit your discipline. Let your future self inherit the results of the small actions you refuse to ignore. Let your future self look back and say, "That was the time I finally stopped running from myself. That was the time I finally became serious. That was the time I finally chose the harder path that made me stronger." You do not need to be perfect to begin this. You only need to be honest. Honest enough to admit that some habits are hurting you. Honest enough to admit that some excuses have taken too much time. Honest enough to admit that your future deserves better than your current level of effort. Honesty may hurt at first, but it also frees you, because once you stop lying to yourself, you can finally start changing yourself. So listen carefully. Your future self is begging you to stop giving up today. Not next month, not next year, not when life becomes easy. Today. Stop giving up when the feeling disappears. Stop giving up when the task becomes boring. Stop giving up when nobody is watching. Stop giving up when progress feels slow. Stop giving up just because the old version of you wants comfort again. Take the step, do the work, begin the task, keep the promise, protect the dream, choose the future over the feeling, choose discipline over delay, choose growth over comfort. Choose the person you are becoming over the person you are trying to leave behind. Because one day, today will become your past. One day, this moment will become part of your story. One day, you will either thank yourself for starting or blame yourself for waiting. Do not create a future filled with "I wish I had." Create a future filled with "I am glad I did." Your future self is waiting for proof that you care. Give that proof today through action. 9. Stop treating your dream like it can wait forever. Your dream cannot wait forever. You may think you have time, and maybe you do have time, but time is not something you should keep wasting. Every day you delay, your dream does not stay in the same place. It becomes colder, it becomes weaker, it moves farther away from your daily life. A dream that is not touched by action slowly becomes only a thought. It becomes something you talk about, imagine and remember, but never truly build. This is why you must stop treating your dream like it will wait for you forever. Because life does not pause until you finally feel ready. Many people love their dream in words, but they do not respect it with action. They say they want success, but they do not work consistently. They say they want a better life, but they keep choosing the same habits. They say they want to change, but they keep waiting for change to feel easy. They say they want confidence, but they keep breaking promises to themselves. This is where the problem begins. A dream does not become real because you love the idea of it. A dream becomes real when you give it time, effort, discipline, and sacrifice. You must understand that your dream is not asking for perfect action. It is asking for honest action. It is not asking you to become the strongest person in one day. It is asking you to stop ignoring it every day. It is not asking you to finish everything at once. It is asking you to begin with what you can do now. Even a small step is respect. Even 10 minutes of focus is respect. Even one completed task is respect. When you act, you tell your dream, "I have not forgotten you. I am still building you." But when you keep delaying, you send a different message. You tell your dream, "Comfort is more important than you." You tell your future, "My mood is more important than my growth." You tell yourself, "I can keep breaking my own promises and still expect something great to happen." This is dangerous because after enough delay, you start to believe that your dream is only a fantasy, not because it was impossible, but because you never gave it enough action to become possible. The dream you keep delaying may be the very thing that could change your life. It may be the skill you need to learn. It may be the body you need to build. It may be the business you need to start. It may be the book you need to write. It may be the channel, the project, the education, the career, the new habit, the better mindset, or the stronger version of yourself that has been waiting for you to become serious. But if you keep saying later, you are not only delaying work, you are delaying the person you could become. This is the truth many people do not want to face. Your future is being shaped by what you keep postponing. The task you avoid today becomes the weakness you feel tomorrow. The skill you refuse to practice today becomes the opportunity you miss tomorrow. The discipline you ignore today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. The dream you delay today becomes the painful question you ask later. What could my life have become if I had started when I had the chance? That question is heavy because it does not come from failure alone. It comes from knowing that you had time, but you wasted it. It comes from knowing that you had chances, but you treated them like they were ordinary. It comes from knowing that you had ideas, but you never gave them effort. It comes from knowing that you were not stopped by lack of ability, but by lack of discipline. This kind of regret hurts deeply because you cannot blame everything on the world. You must face the truth that you kept waiting. Do not wait until your dream becomes painful to remember. Do not wait until you see someone else living the life you wanted and suddenly feel the weight of your own delay. Do not wait until the years pass and you realize that you kept choosing small comfort over a bigger life. Do not wait until regret becomes louder than motivation. Start while you still have the chance. Start while your dream still has life inside you. Start before your heart becomes tired from too many broken promises. Your dream does not need you to feel powerful every day. It needs you to show up. It needs you to keep returning. It needs you to stop disappearing every time the work becomes boring. Many people begin with excitement, but they stop when the process becomes ordinary. They love the picture of success, but they do not love the daily work that success requires. They want the result, but they avoid the routine. They want the reward, but they keep rejecting the discipline. This is why they stay in the same place. You must become different. You must learn to respect the boring work. You must learn to do the small task even when nobody notices. You must learn to keep going when the excitement becomes quiet. You must learn to build when there is no applause. You must learn to continue when progress feels slow. Because the dream is not built only in exciting moments. It is built in ordinary days. It is built when you do the work without drama. It is built when you choose action again and again, even when the feeling is not special. The dream that changes your life will require repetition. You will have to repeat the habit, repeat the practice, repeat the effort, repeat the discipline, repeat the focus, repeat the return after failure. This may not feel exciting, but it is powerful. Repetition is how a person becomes skilled. Repetition is how confidence grows. Repetition is how weak habits lose power. Repetition is how a dream slowly becomes real. If you only touch your dream when you feel inspired, you will never give it enough strength to grow. Some days you will feel like your effort is too small. You may think, what is the point of doing this little action? But do not disrespect small action. Small action is how big change begins. A small step taken daily becomes a strong path. A small habit repeated becomes a new identity. A small improvement continued over time becomes a different life. The problem is not small action. The problem is no action. The problem is starting and stopping so often that your dream never receives enough consistency to become strong. You may not see results immediately, and this is where patience becomes important. Many people quit because they do not see quick progress. They work for a few days and expect life to transform. They try for a short time and then feel disappointed because the result is not big enough. But real growth often happens quietly before it becomes visible. The seed grows under the ground before you see the plant. The foundation is built before you see the building. The character is shaped before the success appears. You must keep working even when the result is still hidden. Do not judge your dream too early. Do not say it is not working just because it has not rewarded you yet. Do not call yourself a failure just because the beginning is slow. Do not quit just because nobody sees your progress. Many powerful changes begin in silence. Many strong people are built before the world notices them. Many dreams require a season where you work without attention, without praise, and without clear proof that everything is about to change. That season is not useless. That season is training you. Your dream is not only about getting what you want, it is also about becoming the person who can carry what you want. If success came too early, you might not be ready for it. If the reward arrived before discipline, you might lose it. If the opportunity came before character, you might waste it. This is why the process matters. The process teaches you patience, it teaches you focus, it teaches you humility, it teaches you consistency, it teaches you how to keep going when feelings are not enough. The dream is shaping you while you are building it. This is why you must stop running from the process. The process may feel hard, but it is not your enemy. The process is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. The process is where your excuses are tested. The process is where your discipline is built. The process is where your self-respect returns. Every time you choose the process over comfort, you become more prepared for the life you keep asking for. Many people say they want to win, but they still protect the habits that make them lose. They protect laziness. They protect delay. They protect distractions. They protect late nights that destroy their mornings. They protect excuses that keep them comfortable. They protect the weak version of themselves because that version is familiar. But you cannot protect your weakness and build your dream at the same time. At some point, one must be chosen. Either you protect your comfort or you protect your future. Protecting your future means making hard choices today. It means saying no when distraction calls. It means starting when your mood is low. It means doing the work before pleasure. It means choosing what helps your future, not only what feels good now. It means understanding that every day is a chance to either feed the dream or feed the delay. The one you feed most will grow. You must be honest about what is feeding your delay. Is it your phone? Is it fear? Is it laziness? Is it self-doubt? Is it the people around you? Is it your routine? Is it the way you speak to yourself? Is it your habit of waiting for motivation? Once you know what keeps pulling you away, stop pretending it is harmless. Anything that repeatedly pulls you away from your dream has power over you, and anything that has power over your daily choices has power over your future. This does not mean you must live without joy. It does not mean you must never rest. It does not mean you must become harsh and angry with yourself. It means you must create order. It means your dream must have a place in your day. It means your future must not be left until the end, after every distraction has taken your energy. It means you must stop giving your best attention to things that do not build your life, while giving your dream only the tired leftovers of your day. Your dream deserves better than leftover energy. Your future deserves better than promises made at night and broken in the morning. Your potential deserves better than being buried under excuses. You do not need to give your dream the whole day, but you must give it something real. Give it focused time. Give it honest effort. Give it a routine. Give it a promise you actually keep. If the dream matters, prove it with your calendar, not only your words. There is a painful truth you must accept. Nobody is responsible for your dream the way you are. Other people may support you, but they cannot care more than you care. They cannot work when you refuse to work. They cannot build when you keep delaying. They cannot force your dream into reality while you keep treating it like an option. Your dream was placed in your heart, but your actions must carry it into the world. You may be afraid to start because you fear failing, but delay is also a kind of failure. At least when you try, you learn. At least when you begin, you grow. At least when you make mistakes, you gain experience. But when you only delay, you gain nothing except regret. Do not let fear trick you into thinking that waiting is safe. Waiting can feel safe in the moment, but it can become the most painful choice later. Trying may hurt your pride, but never trying can hurt your soul. If you start and fail, you can adjust. If you start and struggle, you can learn. If you start and move slowly, you can improve. But if you never start, you remain trapped with imagination only. You keep living with the dream in your mind, but no proof in your life. A dream that is never acted upon becomes heavier over time. It becomes a reminder of your own delay. It becomes a silent voice asking why you never gave it a chance. Do not let your dream become a burden. Let it become a direction. Let it guide your choices. Let it wake up your discipline. Let it remind you that you are not here just to repeat comfortable days until time runs out. You are here to grow. You are here to build. You are here to become someone you can respect. Your dream is not there to make you feel guilty. It is there to call you higher. But to rise higher, you must leave some things lower. You may have to leave the habit of starting late. You may have to leave the habit of quitting early. You may have to leave the habit of needing approval. You may have to leave the habit of waiting for perfect conditions. You may have to leave the version of you that keeps saying, "I want more," while doing less. This is not loss. This is growth. You are not losing yourself. You are losing the habits that kept you small. Every dream has a price. The price may be focus. The price may be time. The price may be discomfort. The price may be patience. The price may be discipline. The price may be saying no to things that waste your energy. If you are not willing to pay the price, you cannot be angry when the dream stays far away. But if you are willing to pay the price daily, even in small amounts, you will slowly become the kind of person who can reach it. The price of discipline is paid now, but the reward comes later. The price of laziness feels light now, but the pain comes later. This is why short-term thinking is dangerous. It asks, what feels good right now? Long-term thinking asks, what will make me proud later? The more you choose what makes you proud later, the more your life begins to change. You stop being ruled by every craving. You stop being led by every mood. You begin making decisions like someone who respects their future. Your dream needs this kind of respect. It needs you to stop joking with your time. It needs you to stop treating every day like it does not matter. It needs you to stop acting like you can waste months and still easily become the person you want. Yes, you can recover from wasted time, but you cannot keep wasting time and expect no cost. Every delayed day must be paid for in some way. Either you pay now with effort, or you pay later with regret. So make today count, not perfectly but honestly. Choose one action that moves the dream forward. Do one thing that your future self will thank you for. Start the task you keep avoiding. Practice the skill you keep postponing. Fix one habit that keeps stealing your energy. Say no to one distraction. Finish one piece of work. Take one step that proves you are no longer treating your dream like a distant fantasy. When you do this, something inside you begins to wake up. You start feeling less helpless. You start feeling more serious. You start believing that maybe change is possible. This belief does not come from thinking, it comes from evidence. Every action gives your mind evidence, evidence that you can begin, evidence that you can continue, evidence that you can improve, evidence that you are not stuck forever. This evidence becomes confidence. Confidence is not just a feeling you wait for. Confidence is often the result of action repeated. When you keep showing up for your dream, you begin to trust yourself. When you keep your promises, you begin to believe your own words again. When you finish what you start, you begin to see yourself differently. You begin to feel that you are not just a person with dreams, but a person who builds them. This is the person you must become. Not a person who only talks, not a person who only plans, not a person who only imagines. A builder, a doer, a person who respects time, a person who starts before the mood arrives, a person who continues after excitement leaves, a person who understands that a dream is not a decoration for the mind, it is a responsibility. Stop treating your dream like it can wait forever. It cannot. Your time is moving, your life is moving, your future is being formed. The longer you delay, the heavier the dream becomes. The sooner you begin, the sooner you start becoming the person who can carry it. You do not need to know every step. You do not need to feel ready. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to stop ignoring the next right action. So begin today. Begin with one step. Begin with one honest effort. Begin with one promise you keep. Begin before regret becomes louder. Begin before your dream becomes only a memory of what you once wanted. Begin because your future is not waiting for your excuses. It is waiting for your discipline. It is waiting for your courage. It is waiting for you to finally act like the life you want truly matters. 10. Your discipline must become stronger than your desire to quit. There will always be a moment when quitting looks easier than continuing. You may begin with energy, hope, and excitement, but after some time the work becomes heavy. The dream that once felt exciting starts to feel difficult. The routine that once felt powerful starts to feel boring. The results may not come as fast as you expected. The people around you may not understand your effort. Your mind may start asking, is this even worth it? This is the moment where many people turn back, not because they are unable to win, but because their desire to quit becomes stronger than their discipline. This is why your discipline must become stronger than your desire to quit. You cannot depend only on excitement, because excitement comes and goes. You cannot depend only on motivation, because motivation is not always present. You cannot depend only on your mood, because your mood changes every day. If your dream depends on feelings alone, it will fall apart the moment those feelings disappear. Discipline is different. Discipline is the part of you that says, even though I do not feel like continuing, I will still take the next step. Quitting often comes dressed as a reasonable thought. It does not always sound weak. Sometimes it sounds smart. It says, maybe this is not the right time. It says, maybe you should rest for a while. It says, maybe you are not ready. It says, maybe this is too hard. It says, maybe you should start again later. These words can sound calm and logical, but deep inside you may know the truth. Sometimes you are not making a wise decision. Sometimes you are only trying to escape the discomfort of growth. There is a difference between changing direction with wisdom and quitting because things became hard. Sometimes life does require you to adjust your plan. Sometimes you must rest, rethink, or take a different path. But many people call it changing direction when they are really running away from effort. They call it taking a break when they are really disappearing from responsibility. They call it waiting for the right time when they are really afraid to continue. You must be honest with yourself, because dishonesty can keep you stuck for years. When the desire to quit becomes loud, you must remember why you started. You did not start because it would be easy. You started because something inside you wanted more. You wanted a better life. You wanted self-respect. You wanted progress. You wanted to prove that you were not trapped by your old habits. You wanted to become someone stronger than the person who kept delaying. That reason still matters, even when your emotions become tired. The problem is that people often forget their reason when the process becomes uncomfortable. They remember the dream, but they hate the work. They remember the result, but they resist the routine. They remember the feeling of wanting success, but they dislike the discipline that success requires. This is where discipline becomes necessary. Discipline reminds you that the reward you want is connected to the effort you keep avoiding. You cannot separate the life you want from the work it demands. Every meaningful goal will test you. It will test your patience. It will test your focus. It will test your consistency. It will test whether you really want the result or only like the idea of it. A dream that requires nothing from you will not change you. A goal that never challenges you will not build you. The difficult part is not a sign that you should stop. Many times the difficult part is the exact place where your old self is being challenged and your new self is being built. Think about a person who wants to become physically strong. They cannot become strong by avoiding every heavy weight. The weight is the thing that builds them. The discomfort is part of the process. Think about a person who wants to become skilled. They cannot become skilled by avoiding practice. The mistakes, the repetition, and the slow improvement are part of the process. Think about a person who wants a better life. They cannot build that life by quitting every time the path becomes uncomfortable. The discomfort is not always there to break you. Sometimes it is there to train you. Your desire to quit becomes powerful when you focus only on the pain of the moment. When you are tired, the task feels bigger. When you are frustrated, the goal feels farther away. When results are slow, the effort feels pointless. But you must not make permanent decisions from temporary emotions. A difficult mood can lie to you. A tired mind can exaggerate the problem. A frustrated heart can forget the progress you have already made. This is why you need discipline to lead when emotions are not clear. Discipline teaches you to continue with wisdom. It does not mean you never rest. It does not mean you destroy yourself. It does not mean you ignore real problems. Discipline means you do not let a weak feeling become the leader of your life. It means you pause when you need rest, but you do not abandon the path. It means you adjust when necessary, but you do not surrender your future to laziness. It means you continue in some way, even if the step is small. Many people quit because they think progress must always feel exciting, but real progress often feels ordinary. It feels like doing the same thing again. It feels like showing up when nobody notices. It feels like repeating the habit even when it feels boring. It feels like working while the result is still hidden. This is why discipline matters so much, because discipline can survive boredom. Motivation often cannot. Boredom is one of the hidden tests of success. Many people can start when the idea is new. They can work when everything feels fresh. They can focus when they feel inspired. But when the work becomes repetitive, they lose interest. They say, "I do not feel excited anymore." But success is not only created by excitement. Success is created by staying with the process after the excitement fades. The person who can continue through boring days becomes stronger than the person who only works when it feels interesting. Your discipline must also become stronger than your impatience. Sometimes you want the results so badly that slow progress makes you angry. You work for a short time and expect life to change quickly. You take a few steps and want a big reward, but growth does not always move at the speed of your desire. Some things take time. Some results require quiet preparation. Some changes happen slowly before they become visible. If you quit just because progress is slow, you may leave right before the work begins to show results. Impatience can make you disrespect your own progress. You may be improving, but because the improvement is not huge yet, you call it nothing. You may be stronger than before, but because you are not where you want to be, you feel like you are failing. You may be building something important, but because nobody sees it yet, you feel like stopping. Do not let impatience make you blind. Small progress is still progress. Slow growth is still growth. Quiet effort is still shaping your future. The desire to quit becomes weaker when you learn to measure progress honestly. Do not only look at the final result. Look at the person you are becoming. Are you more consistent than before? Are you starting faster than before? Are you keeping more promises than before? Are you returning after failure faster than before? Are you becoming more honest with yourself? These changes matter. They may not look big to other people, but they are signs that your discipline is growing. You must understand that quitting has a cost. It may feel like relief at first, but later it often becomes regret. When you quit, you get to escape the discomfort now, but you may carry the question later, what if I had continued? That question can be painful. It follows people because they know they did not truly reach their limit. They only reached the point where effort became uncomfortable. There is a deep difference between being finished and simply wanting comfort. Many people quit at comfort's door and call it failure. Before you quit, ask yourself simple questions. Am I truly done, or am I just tired? Is this really impossible, or is it just difficult? Do I need to stop, or do I need to rest and return? Am I making a wise choice, or am I trying to escape discomfort? These questions can protect you from quitting too soon. They help you separate real wisdom from temporary weakness. Sometimes the best thing is not to quit, but to lower the pressure and keep moving. If you cannot do a lot, do a little. If you cannot work fast, work slowly. If you cannot give full energy, give honest energy. If you cannot complete the whole task, complete one part. The goal is to protect your identity as someone who continues. You do not have to win the whole war in one moment. You only need to refuse surrender today. This is important because many people think in extremes. They say, if I cannot do everything, I will do nothing. This thinking destroys consistency. Life will not always give you perfect conditions. Some days will be messy. Some days will be heavy. Some days you will have less time and less energy. On those days, do not disappear completely. Adjust the action, but keep the promise alive. A small step keeps you connected to the path. Your discipline becomes stronger through repetition. The more you choose to continue, the easier it becomes to continue next time. The more you resist the desire to quit, the weaker that desire becomes. The more you prove that you can keep going through discomfort, the more your mind begins to trust you. This is how inner strength is built. It is not built by one huge moment. It is built by many small moments where you chose not to give up. At first, discipline may feel like a fight. You may feel like you are forcing yourself every day. You may feel like your old habits are pulling you back. You may feel like your mind is arguing against every good decision. This is normal. You are changing a pattern that may have been with you for a long time. Old patterns do not disappear simply because you made one decision. They are weakened by repeated action. Every time you choose discipline, the old pattern loses a little power. The desire to quit often becomes strongest right before growth. This happens because change is uncomfortable. When you are close to becoming a different version of yourself, the old version starts fighting harder. It wants to keep the familiar life. It wants the old comfort. It wants the easy routine. It wants the habits it understands. But the new version of you requires courage. It requires you to keep walking even when the old self is begging you to return. Do not be surprised when resistance appears. Resistance is not proof that you should stop. Resistance is often proof that you are touching something important. If the goal did not matter, you would not feel such a fight inside. If the change was not meaningful, your old habits would not be so loud. The fact that it feels hard may mean you are finally challenging the parts of yourself that kept you stuck. There will be moments when you look at other people and think they have it easier. You may think they are more talented, more confident, more supported, or more lucky. Maybe some people do have advantages, but their path is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is your next step. Comparing your struggle to someone else's highlight can make you want to quit. Do not let comparison steal your discipline. You do not need to move at their speed. You need to stop abandoning your own path. Your path may take longer. It may require more patience. It may require you to rebuild parts of yourself that others never had to rebuild. That does not mean you cannot win. It means your discipline must become personal. You must stop measuring your worth by someone else's timeline. You must say, even if my progress is slow, I will not quit on my own life. That kind of decision is powerful. Your discipline must also become stronger than discouragement. Sometimes you will work hard and still feel unseen. You will try and still feel ignored. You will improve and still feel behind. You will give effort and still not get the result you expected. In those moments, discouragement will whisper, "Why continue?" But you must remember that unseen effort is not wasted effort. Hidden growth is still growth. Roots grow before the tree rises. Foundations are built before the building appears. Your work may be preparing something you cannot see yet. Do not quit just because nobody claps. Do not quit just because nobody understands. Do not quit just because the reward is not visible. If you always need outside approval to continue, your discipline will remain weak. You must learn to continue because you know the work matters, even when the world is silent. You must become the person who does the right thing without needing constant praise. There is a quiet strength that comes from continuing when nobody is watching. It builds a deep kind of self-respect. You begin to know yourself differently. You begin to think, "I am not the person who runs every time it becomes hard." This belief is valuable. It changes how you stand, how you speak, how you face challenges, and how you see your future. When you know you can continue through difficulty, life feels less powerful against you. Discipline does not remove struggle from life, but it makes you stronger inside the struggle. It gives you structure when emotions are messy. It gives you direction when motivation is low. It gives you a reason to keep moving when quitting looks attractive. A person without discipline is controlled by every mood, every distraction, every excuse, and every difficult day. A disciplined person still feels all of these things, but they do not surrender control so easily. You must protect your discipline like you protect something valuable, because it is valuable. Your discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Your discipline is the reason you can continue when feelings fail. Your discipline is the proof that your dream matters to you. Without discipline, even a great dream can remain only a dream. With discipline, even a small beginning can become something strong. Protecting discipline means protecting your environment. If your phone keeps stealing your focus, create distance from it. If certain people keep weakening your mindset, limit how much power their words have over you. If your routine keeps making you lazy, change the routine. If your mornings are always wasted, prepare the night before. Discipline becomes easier when your environment supports it. Do not make your life harder by keeping every distraction close and then wondering why focus feels impossible. Protecting discipline also means protecting your words. Stop telling yourself, "I always quit." Stop saying, "I am lazy." Stop repeating, "I cannot stay consistent." These words may feel honest, but they can become instructions to your mind. Speak in a way that supports your growth. Say, "I am learning to continue." Say, "I can take one step." Say, "I do not have to feel ready to begin." Say, "I am becoming someone who keeps going." Your words should not lie to you, but they should lead you towards strength. There will still be days when you fail. Discipline does not mean you never fall. It means you return faster. It means you do not let one bad day become your whole identity. It means you stop using failure as proof that you should quit. A disciplined person can fall and still continue. A disciplined person can have a weak day and still come back the next day. A disciplined person understands that consistency is not perfection. Consistency is returning to the path. This is where many people lose the battle. They fail once and then disappear. They miss one day and then lose the whole week. They break one promise and then feel like there is no point anymore. But one mistake does not have to become a full surrender. Return quickly. Begin again. Do not make your failure bigger by staying away from the work. The faster you return, the less power failure has over you. Your desire to quit may speak loudly after failure. It may say, "See, you cannot do this." It may say, "You always come back to the same place." It may say, "Why try again?" But you must answer with action. You do not need to win an argument in your head. You need to take the next step. Action is the strongest answer to doubt. Every time you return after failure, you prove that failure did not own you. The person who wins is not the person who never wants to quit. The person who wins is the person who wants to quit many times but continues anyway. They may feel tired, but they return. They may feel discouraged, but they return. They may feel ashamed after failure, but they return. They may lose momentum, but they rebuild it. This is what separates people, not feelings, not talent, not perfect conditions. The difference is the decision to continue. You must make continuing part of who you are, not something you do only when life feels easy, but something you protect when life feels hard. When quitting becomes an option, discipline must become your answer. When delay becomes attractive, discipline must become your direction. When comfort calls you back, discipline must remind you that you are not trying to remain the same. Your dream needs a version of you that can continue. Your future needs a version of you that can continue. Your self-respect needs a version of you that can continue. Because every time you quit too early, you teach yourself that discomfort is stronger than your decision. But every time you continue, even a little, you teach yourself that your decision can be stronger than discomfort. This lesson is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming reliable. Reliable to your own goals, reliable to your own promises, reliable to the person you are trying to become. When you become reliable, your life changes because you stop depending on lucky moods. You stop needing everything to feel easy. You stop waiting for someone else to push you. You become the person who can say, even when I want to quit, I know how to continue. That kind of person is powerful. Not because they never feel weak, but because weakness does not fully control them. Not because they never feel fear, but because fear does not make every decision. Not because they never feel tired, but because tiredness does not automatically mean surrender. This person has learned to respect the goal more than the urge to escape. So when the desire to quit comes, do not be shocked. Expect it. Prepare for it. Understand that it is part of the journey. The voice that tells you to stop may visit many times, but every time it visits, you have a chance to become stronger. You have a chance to choose discipline. You have a chance to show yourself that you are not the same person you used to be. Do not quit just because today is hard. Do not quit just because progress is slow. Do not quit just because your emotions are tired. Do not quit just because nobody is watching. Do not quit just because the old version of you wants comfort again. Take one more step. Do one more honest action. Return one more time. Continue long enough to meet the stronger version of yourself, waiting on the other side of your resistance. Your discipline must become stronger than your desire to quit, because your future will not be built by the part of you that runs from difficulty. It will be built by the part of you that stays, works, learns, returns, and keeps moving. The desire to quit may come, but it does not have to win. Your mood may fall, but your standard can remain. Your energy may drop, but your decision can stay alive. Keep going, not because it is easy, but because quitting has already taken too much from you. Keep going because your dream deserves more than your weakest moments. Keep going because your future self is depending on the choices you make when nobody is forcing you. Keep going because the person you are becoming is built in the moments when stopping would be easier, but you choose to continue anyway. One day you will be thankful that you did not quit when everything inside you wanted to stop. One day you will look back and understand that the hard days were not wasted. They were training you. They were strengthening you. They were teaching you that discipline can carry you through what motivation cannot. That is the day you will realize that the desire to quit was never the end of your story. It was only the test your discipline had to pass. 11. Stop waiting for motivation and start moving with discipline. Motivation feels good when it comes. It makes you feel excited. It makes your dream feel close. It makes the work feel easier for a short time. When you are motivated, you feel like you can change everything. You feel like you can wake up early, work harder, stay focused, build better habits, and finally become the person you keep imagining. But the problem with motivation is that it does not always stay. It can be strong in the morning and gone by the evening. It can appear after a powerful video, a good conversation, or a painful moment, but when the real work begins, motivation can disappear quietly. This is why you cannot build your future only on motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Some days you will feel ready, and some days you will feel empty. Some days your dream will feel exciting, and some days it will feel far away. Some days you will wake up with energy, and some days you will wake up with resistance. If you wait for motivation every time, your life will keep stopping. You will start when the feeling is high, then stop when the feeling goes down. You will move for a few days, then disappear for weeks. You will keep beginning again, but you will struggle to continue. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask, "Do I feel like it?" Discipline asks, "What needs to be done?" Discipline does not wait for the perfect mood. It moves with a clear decision. Discipline understands that your future cannot depend on how you feel every hour. Discipline is the part of you that shows up when motivation is missing. It is the part of you that works when the excitement is gone. It is the part of you that starts the task even when the mind is complaining. It is the part of you that keeps your promise when your mood tries to break it. Many people remain stuck because they keep waiting for a feeling that may not come. They say, "I will start when I feel motivated." They say, "I will change when I feel ready." They say, "I will work when I get the right energy." But waiting for motivation can become another excuse. It can sound reasonable, but it keeps you in the same place. The truth is, you may never feel fully ready. You may never feel perfectly confident. You may never wake up every day with the desire to work, but you can still move. You can still begin. You can still take one honest step. You must understand that motivation often follows action. Many people think motivation must come first, but many times action comes first and motivation comes later. When you start moving, your mind begins to wake up. When you do one small task, you begin to feel a little more in control. When you keep one promise, your confidence begins to return. When you take one step, the next step becomes easier. This is why waiting can be dangerous. You may be waiting for a feeling that is waiting for your movement. Think about a simple example. Before starting a workout, your body may feel lazy. Your mind may say, "Not today." You may feel heavy and tired, but after you begin moving, after a few minutes, your body starts to warm up. Your energy changes. Your mind becomes clearer. The feeling you were waiting for begins to appear after the action begins. The same thing happens with work, study, writing, cleaning, learning, and building any dream. Starting is often what creates the energy you thought you needed before starting. This is why the first step is so powerful. It breaks the control of waiting. It proves that you do not need a perfect feeling to take action. It tells your mind, "We are moving even without motivation." At first, this may feel uncomfortable, because your old habit wants to be led by emotions. Your old habit wants to wait until everything feels easy. Your old habit wants to delay until there is no resistance. But growth does not work that way. Growth often begins while resistance is still present. If you want to win, you must stop asking your mood for permission. Your mood is not your master. Your feelings are not your leader. Your laziness is not your authority. You can feel unmotivated and still do the work. You can feel tired and still take a small step. You can feel doubtful and still begin. You can feel bored and still continue. This is what discipline teaches you. It teaches you that action is possible even when feelings are not perfect. Motivation is useful, but it should not be your foundation. It can help you start, but it cannot always help you finish. It can give you energy, but it cannot replace commitment. It can inspire you, but it cannot build your life for you. Discipline is the foundation, because discipline stays when motivation leaves. Discipline is what carries the dream through boring days, tired days, slow days, and difficult days. Discipline is what keeps you moving when your emotions no longer clap for the goal. Many people love the feeling of motivation more than they love the process of change. They watch videos, read quotes, imagine success, and feel excited for a while. But when it is time to work, they step back. They enjoy the idea of becoming better, but they avoid the daily effort that makes better possible. This is a dangerous trap. Feeling inspired is not the same as changing. Thinking about success is not the same as building it. Wanting a better life is not the same as living with better habits. You must not confuse emotional excitement with real progress. Real progress happens when you do something. It happens when you sit down and focus. It happens when you practice the skill. It happens when you complete the task. It happens when you wake up and follow the plan. It happens when you continue even after the excitement fades. Motivation can make you feel like a winner for a moment, but discipline is what turns you into one. Discipline may not feel exciting in the beginning. It may feel ordinary. It may feel boring. It may feel like repeating the same simple actions again and again. But this is where real growth happens. A strong life is built through repeated actions, not repeated wishes. A strong body is built through repeated training. A strong mind is built through repeated focus. A strong future is built through repeated discipline. The repetition may not always feel special, but it is shaping you quietly. You must learn to respect the ordinary work. Most people do not quit because the dream is impossible. They quit because the daily work feels too ordinary. They wanted success to feel exciting every day. They wanted progress to feel dramatic. They wanted each step to feel powerful. But many days of growth look simple. You do the task, you practice, you focus, you return, you improve a little, you repeat. This may not look exciting, but it is exactly how strong people are made. Motivation often wants quick change. Discipline understands slow progress. Motivation wants to feel good now. Discipline wants to make your future better. Motivation asks, "What excites me?" Discipline asks, "What will make me proud later?" Motivation can begin the journey, but discipline completes it. If you only follow motivation, you will stop when the road becomes boring. If you follow discipline, you will keep going because the result matters more than the feeling. This is why you must build systems, not only emotions. A system means you decide what you will do before your mood has a chance to argue. You choose a time, you choose a task, you choose a simple routine, you make the action clear. For example, instead of saying, "I will work when I feel motivated," say, "I will work for 30 minutes after breakfast." Instead of saying, "I will exercise when I feel energy," say, "I will walk for 10 minutes every evening." Instead of saying, "I will study when I feel ready," say, "I will read 5 pages before using my phone." This makes action easier because the decision is already made. When you depend on motivation, every day becomes a debate. You wake up and ask, "Do I feel like doing it?" Then your mind starts giving opinions. It says you are tired. It says tomorrow is better. It says you need more rest. It says you are not in the mood. But when you live with discipline, you reduce the debate. You already know what must be done. You may still feel resistance, but you do not give resistance the power to cancel the action. The less you debate with laziness, the more power you have. Laziness becomes stronger when you keep talking to it. It gives you reasons, it creates delay, it makes excuses sound intelligent, it tells you that comfort is necessary, it tells you that one more day will not matter. If you keep listening, you may lose the whole day. This is why discipline must act quickly. When the right action is clear, move before the excuses become too loud. Discipline does not mean you become a machine. It does not mean you never rest. It does not mean you ignore your body. Real discipline includes wisdom. It knows when to work and when to recover. It knows that rest is important, but it also knows that rest should not become an escape from responsibility. There is a difference between resting because you need recovery and delaying because you want to avoid effort. You must be honest enough to know the difference. A disciplined person can rest without guilt because they have worked honestly. A lazy person rests with guilt because they know they are avoiding the work. This is why discipline creates peace. It allows you to rest with a clear mind. When you do what needs to be done, your rest feels clean. But when you keep delaying, even your comfort feels heavy. You may sit and relax, but the unfinished task keeps speaking inside you. You may scroll, sleep, or escape, but deep down you know you are running from your own responsibility. This is why discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. It protects your time from being wasted. It protects your confidence from being broken by repeated excuses. It protects your dream from becoming only a fantasy. It protects your future from the pain of regret. When you choose discipline, you are not being cruel to yourself. You are choosing to care about your life in a serious way. Many people misunderstand discipline because they think it is harsh. But discipline is one of the strongest forms of self-respect. It says, "My future matters." It says, "My promise matters." It says, "My life is too important to be controlled by every mood." It says, "I will not keep betraying myself for temporary comfort." Discipline is not there to make your life miserable. It is there to help you become free from the habits that keep you stuck. Without discipline, you remain a prisoner of feelings. If you feel good, you move. If you feel bad, you stop. If you feel excited, you work. If you feel bored, you quit. If you feel confident, you begin. If you feel doubtful, you hide. This kind of life is unstable because your emotions are always changing. Discipline gives you something stable. It gives you a standard that remains even when the mood changes. Your standards matter more than your feelings. A standard is a decision about who you are becoming. A standard says, "Even when I do not feel like it, I do not abandon myself." A standard says, "Even on a hard day, I will do something." A standard says, "I do not need perfection, but I do need honesty." When your standards become stronger than your mood, your life begins to change because you stop letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions. The beginning may feel difficult because you have trained yourself to wait for motivation. If you have spent years acting only when you feel like it, discipline will feel strange at first. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel forced. It may feel like you are fighting yourself. But this does not mean you are failing. It means you are retraining your mind. You are teaching yourself a new way to live. You are teaching yourself that action does not need permission from mood. At first, start small. Do not try to change everything in one day. If you make discipline too heavy at the beginning, you may quit quickly. Start with simple actions that are easy to repeat. Wake up at the time you promised. Do 10 minutes of focused work. Read a small amount. Move your body for a short time. Finish one task before using your phone. These small actions matter because they rebuild trust. They tell your mind, "I am becoming someone who follows through." When you repeat small disciplined actions, something powerful happens. Your confidence grows, not because life becomes perfect, but because you begin to trust yourself again. You start realizing that you can do what you said you would do. You start feeling proud of yourself in a quiet way. You start seeing that you are not helpless. This confidence is different from empty motivation. It is built on proof. It is built on evidence. It is built on action. Proof is stronger than excitement. Excitement can disappear, but proof stays in your memory. When you remember that you started even while tired, that is proof. When you remember that you finished the task even while bored, that is proof. When you remember that you returned after failing, that is proof. Every small disciplined action gives you proof that you are changing. This proof becomes the foundation of real confidence. You must also stop judging yourself only by how you feel. Feeling unmotivated does not mean you are failing. Feeling lazy does not mean you are hopeless. Feeling tired does not mean you are weak. These feelings are part of being human. The real question is not whether the feeling appears. The real question is what you do when the feeling appears. Do you obey it completely, or do you lead yourself through it? This is where discipline is born. A disciplined person still has lazy feelings. They just do not let laziness decide everything. A disciplined person still has doubtful thoughts. They just do not let doubt stop every action. A disciplined person still has low energy days. They just adjust and keep moving in some way. This should encourage you because it means you do not need to become a person who never struggles. You only need to become a person who does not surrender to every struggle. The more you practice discipline, the less you need motivation. This does not mean motivation disappears forever. It means you no longer depend on it. When motivation comes, you use it. When motivation leaves, you still continue. That is freedom. You are no longer waiting for a feeling to save you. You are no longer stuck until the mood becomes perfect. You are able to act because your decision is stronger than your emotional weather. This freedom is powerful because it puts control back in your hands. You may not control every situation. You may not control every problem. You may not control every result, but you can control the next honest action. You can control whether you begin. You can control whether you return. You can control whether you keep one promise today. Discipline brings your attention back to what you can do, instead of leaving you trapped in what you feel. You must remember that your future is being built on your repeated actions, not your repeated emotions. You can feel inspired every day and still not change if you do not act. You can feel motivated after every video and still remain the same if you keep delaying. You can feel emotional about your dream and still lose it if you do not give it discipline. Feelings may start the fire, but action keeps it alive. So stop waiting for motivation like it is the key to your life. The key is action. The key is discipline. The key is the small step you take even when you do not feel ready. The key is the promise you keep even when nobody is watching. The key is the routine you follow when excitement is gone. The key is the decision to move before your excuses finish speaking. When you wake up tomorrow and do not feel motivated, do not panic. That does not mean the day is lost. It only means discipline has been called. When you sit down to work and your mind wants distraction, do not panic. That does not mean you cannot focus. It only means discipline has been called. When your dream feels far away and the results are slow, do not panic. That does not mean you should quit. It only means discipline has been called. Every time motivation is missing, you have a chance to build something deeper. You have a chance to build reliability. You have a chance to build self-respect. You have a chance to prove that your goals matter even when your feelings are quiet. This is where you become stronger, not in the moment when everything feels easy, but in the moment when nothing feels easy and you still choose the right action. Do not wait for the feeling. Create movement. Do not wait for the mood. Follow the standard. Do not wait for perfect energy. Begin with the energy you have. Do not wait for life to push you through regret. Push yourself through discipline. You may start slowly, but start. You may feel resistance, but move. You may not feel ready, but begin. Your life will not change because you felt motivated for one day. It will change when discipline becomes your normal response. It will change when you stop asking, "Do I feel like it?" and start asking, "What does my future need from me today?" It will change when you stop treating motivation like a requirement and start treating action like a responsibility. So move today. Do the small thing. Keep the promise. Start the task. Return to the plan, build the routine. Let discipline lead you when motivation is silent, because the person you want to become is not waiting for you to feel inspired. That person is waiting for you to begin. 12. The person you become is built by what you do when you feel weak. Anyone can make strong promises when they feel motivated. Anyone can speak with confidence when the mood is good. Anyone can imagine a better life when they are lying in bed thinking about the future. But the real test of a person does not come when everything feels easy. The real test comes when they feel weak, tired, lazy, disappointed, distracted, or unsure, and still have to choose what kind of person they are going to become. This is why your weak moments matter so much. They are not small moments. They are the moments that quietly build your identity. Many people think their future is built only by big decisions, but most of your future is built by small choices made during difficult feelings. It is built when you wake up and want to stay in bed, but you still get up. It is built when you feel like scrolling, but you still choose focus. It is built when you want to delay, but you still begin. It is built when you feel like quitting, but you still take one more step. These choices may not look powerful from the outside, but inside you they are teaching your mind who you are. Your mind believes what you repeatedly prove to it. If you repeatedly prove that you quit when things become hard, your mind starts believing that you are a quitter. If you repeatedly prove that you delay when you feel lazy, your mind starts believing that laziness controls you. If you repeatedly prove that you break promises to yourself, your mind starts believing that your words cannot be trusted. But if you repeatedly prove that you can move even when you feel weak, your mind begins to believe something new. It begins to believe that you are stronger than your feelings. This is why weak moments are so important. They give you a chance to show yourself the truth about who is in control. Is your tiredness in control, or are you? Is your fear in control, or are you? Is your laziness in control, or are you? Is your old habit in control, or are you? You do not answer these questions with words. You answer them with action. Every time you choose the right action while feeling weak, you are telling yourself, I may feel this way, but this feeling is not my master. You must understand that feeling weak does not mean you are weak. Feeling lazy does not mean you are a lazy person forever. Feeling afraid does not mean you are not brave. Feeling tired does not mean you have no discipline. Feelings are temporary. They rise and fall. They come and go. But if you obey every feeling, that feeling begins to shape your life. A weak feeling becomes dangerous only when you give it the power to decide your actions. There is nothing wrong with having difficult feelings. Every person has them. Even people who look successful, confident, and disciplined have days when they do not feel strong. They also wake up tired sometimes. They also doubt themselves sometimes. They also feel resistance before hard work. They also have moments when quitting seems easier. The difference is not that they never feel weak. The difference is that they have trained themselves not to surrender every time weakness appears. This is the kind of training you need. You do not need to become a person who never struggles. You need to become a person who can still move while struggling. You need to become a person who can still do one honest thing on a hard day. You need to become a person who does not disappear from responsibility just because the mood is low. This is how strength is built, not by avoiding weakness, but by learning how to act inside it. Think of weakness like heavy weather. Some days the sky inside you is clear and everything feels easier. Other days the sky is dark and even simple things feel difficult. But you cannot stop living every time the weather changes. You cannot pause your whole future every time your feelings become heavy. You must learn to carry your responsibility even on cloudy days. You may move slower, but you still move. You may do less, but you do not do nothing. You may not feel powerful, but you still protect your direction. This matters because many people lose their future on the days they feel weak. They do not lose because they had no dream. They lose because they let one weak day become a weak week. Then the weak week becomes a weak month. Then the weak month becomes a lifestyle of delay. It usually begins with one small surrender. One day of saying, not today. One day of saying, I will start tomorrow. One day of saying, I do not feel like it. The danger is not only that one day is lost. The danger is that the mind learns the pattern. But you can teach your mind a new pattern. You can teach it that weak days are not quitting days. You can teach it that tired days still have one small action inside them. You can teach it that low motivation does not mean zero effort. You can teach it that you are allowed to feel difficulty, but you are not allowed to abandon yourself every time difficulty appears. This is how you become stronger from the inside. The person you become is not created by what you say you want. It is created by what you do when wanting is not enough. It is easy to say, I want success. It is easy to say, I want change. It is easy to say, I want a better life. But what do you do when the work is boring? What do you do when nobody is watching? What do you do when the result is slow? What do you do when your old habits call you back? That is where your real identity is being built. If you always wait for strength before you act, you may wait too long. Many times, strength does not come before action. Strength comes from action. You become stronger because you acted when you felt weak. You become more confident because you moved when your mind said stop. You become more disciplined because you kept going when your emotions wanted comfort. This means you do not need to feel strong to begin. You become strong by beginning. There is a quiet power in doing the work while feeling weak. It may not look dramatic. Nobody may clap for it. Nobody may even notice it. But inside, something changes. You begin to respect yourself more. You begin to see that your feelings do not control everything. You begin to trust that even on bad days you can still do something useful. This quiet trust is more valuable than temporary motivation because it becomes part of your character. Character is built in private. It is built when you make the right choice without applause. It is built when you keep the promise nobody else knows about. It is built when you return to the plan after failing. It is built when you choose effort even though comfort is available. It is built when you could easily escape, but you decide to stay responsible. The world may not see these moments, but your character records them. When you feel weak, do not make the task too big in your mind. This is a mistake many people make. They feel low, then they look at the whole journey, and suddenly everything feels impossible. They think about all the work they need to do, all the habits they need to fix, all the years they have wasted, and all the goals they have not reached. Then they feel overwhelmed and do nothing. But you do not need to fix your whole life in a weak moment. You only need to choose the next honest action. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now? That question can save your day. Maybe you can work for 10 minutes. Maybe you can read one page. Maybe you can clean one small area. Maybe you can write one paragraph. Maybe you can walk for a few minutes. Maybe you can prepare for tomorrow. Maybe you can put the phone away and breathe for a moment. The action does not have to be huge. It only has to be real. A small action done during weakness is powerful because it breaks the pattern of surrender. It tells your old self, you do not fully own me anymore. It tells your future, I still care. It tells your mind, even when I feel low, I can move. Do not disrespect small actions. On strong days, small actions may look simple, but on weak days, small actions are victories. They keep your identity alive. There will be days when you cannot do your best. That is part of life. But even on those days, you can avoid doing your worst. You can choose something between perfect and nothing. This is important because many people think only in extremes. They think, if I cannot do everything, I will do nothing. This kind of thinking destroys progress. You do not need perfect effort every day. You need honest effort. Honest effort keeps the path open. If you plan to work for 2 hours but only have strength for 20 minutes, do the 20 minutes. If you planned a full workout but only have energy for a short walk, take the walk. If you plan to write a lot but can only write a little, write the little. This does not mean lowering your standards forever. It means protecting your consistency during difficult moments. It means refusing to let weakness turn into complete surrender. This is how discipline becomes flexible but strong. It does not break just because the day is hard. It adjusts without disappearing. It says, today is not perfect, but I will still show up in some way. This kind of discipline is powerful because it lasts longer. Harsh discipline often collapses because it demands perfection. Wise discipline survives because it understands life, but still refuses to quit. You must also stop speaking to yourself like weakness is the end of your story. Do not say, I always fail. Do not say, I am just lazy. Do not say, I can never stay consistent. Do not say, there is no point. These words make weakness heavier. They turn a temporary feeling into an identity. Instead, speak with truth and direction. Say, I feel weak today, but I can still take one step. Say, I am struggling, but I am not giving up. Say, I do not need to do everything, but I will do something. Say, "This feeling is real, but it is not the final decision." Your words matter because they guide your actions. When you call yourself hopeless, you stop trying seriously. When you call yourself lazy every day, you begin to live like that label is permanent. But when you speak to yourself like a person who is learning, growing, and returning, you leave room for change. You are not lying to yourself, you are leading yourself. Leadership begins inside your own mind. The person you become is shaped by what you allow. If you allow every weak feeling to control you, weakness becomes your normal state. If you allow every excuse to delay you, delay becomes your lifestyle. If you allow every bad mood to cancel your plan will never become strong. But if you stop allowing weakness to make every decision, you begin to change. You begin to build authority over yourself. Self-authority is one of the most important forms of power. It means you can guide yourself even when your feelings are messy. It means you can choose your next action without needing perfect motivation. It means you do not need someone else to push you every time. It means you are no longer waiting for life to force you. You are learning to lead yourself. This is not easy in the beginning. If you have spent a long time obeying comfort, discipline may feel uncomfortable. If you have spent a long time quitting when things feel hard, continuing may feel strange. If you have spent a long time avoiding effort, action may feel heavy. But this is not proof that you cannot change. It is proof that you are practicing something new. New patterns feel difficult at first. They become easier through repetition. Every time you act during weakness, you are practicing a new pattern. You are practicing courage. You are practicing discipline. You are practicing self-respect. You are practicing consistency. You are practicing the identity of someone who does not abandon themselves. With enough repetition, what once felt impossible begins to feel normal. What once felt heavy begins to feel manageable. What once felt forced begins to feel like who you are becoming. There is also a hidden danger in always choosing comfort when you feel weak. It teaches you that discomfort must be escaped immediately. Then every hard feeling becomes a reason to run. But life will always contain hard feelings. If you cannot handle them, your future becomes controlled by anything that makes you uncomfortable. You avoid hard work because it feels uncomfortable. You avoid important conversations because they feel uncomfortable. You avoid new opportunities because they feel uncomfortable. You avoid growth because growth feels uncomfortable. But discomfort is not always danger. Sometimes discomfort is training. Sometimes discomfort is the feeling of leaving an old pattern. Sometimes discomfort is the sign that you are finally doing what your future needs. You must learn to ask, is this discomfort harming me, or is it building me? Some discomfort should be respected as a warning, but some discomfort should be accepted as part of growth. Effort is uncomfortable, but it builds you. Focus is uncomfortable, but it strengthens you. Discipline is uncomfortable, but it frees you from regret. When you feel weak, your mind may try to convince you that comfort will solve everything. Sometimes rest is needed, but comfort alone cannot build your life. Comfort may quiet the feeling for a while, but it does not always fix the reason you feel disappointed. If you feel weak because you keep avoiding responsibility, more avoidance will not heal you. It will only add guilt. Sometimes the thing that makes you feel better is not escape, but action. Even one small completed task can bring relief, because it reminds you that you are not powerless. This is why action can become medicine for self-doubt. When you doubt yourself and still act, doubt loses some power. When you feel lazy and still begin, laziness loses some power. When you feel afraid and still take a step, fear loses some power. You may not defeat these feelings completely in one day, but you weaken them every time you refuse to let them fully control you. You are always becoming someone. This is important to remember. You are not standing still. Every repeated choice is shaping you. If you repeat delay, you become more delayed. If you repeat excuses, you become more excuse-driven. If you repeat discipline, you become more disciplined. If you repeat courage, you become braver. If you repeat effort, you become stronger. The person you become is not a mystery. It is connected to what you practice every day, especially when practice is hard. This is why you should be careful with the phrase, "just this once." Sometimes just this once is harmless, but many times it becomes the doorway to a pattern. Just this once becomes another skipped day, another broken promise, another delay, another excuse. The problem is not always one moment. The problem is what the moment teaches you. If every weak feeling gets just this once, soon weakness becomes the leader. But you can also use just this once for discipline. You can say, just this once I will start even though I feel lazy. Just this once I will keep my promise. Just this once I will choose the future over comfort. Then repeat that again tomorrow. This is how a new pattern is created. You do not need to think about forever. Sometimes forever begins with one decision repeated today. Weak moments also reveal what your dream really means to you. When you feel excited, it is easy to care. But when you feel weak, bored, or tired, your actions show whether the dream has become a real commitment. This does not mean you will always perform perfectly. It means you keep returning. You keep respecting the goal. You keep giving it something real. A dream that only matters in good moods is not yet a commitment. A dream that still receives action in weak moods is becoming part of your life. Do not be ashamed of starting small in weak moments. Shame often keeps people stuck. They think, I should be doing more. Maybe you should, but shame alone will not make you stronger. Action will. Start where you are. Use the strength you have. Build from there. If all you can do today is one small, honest step, then do it with respect. That step may become the reason you do not fully fall back into the old pattern. One small step can protect your momentum. Momentum is precious because once you lose it, restarting can feel harder. Even small effort keeps the connection alive. It tells your mind that the path is still open. It keeps your identity active. It prevents one weak day from becoming a complete surrender. This is why disciplined people often do something even when they cannot do everything. They know that staying connected matters. The person you become is also built by how you respond after failure. Feeling weak may lead you to make a mistake. You may waste a day. You may break a promise. You may fall back into an old habit. But what happens next matters. Do you use the failure as proof that you should quit, or do you return? Do you punish yourself with shame, or do you learn and begin again? Do you let one mistake become a lifestyle, or do you stop it quickly? Returning after failure is one of the strongest signs of growth. It means you no longer let failure have the final word. It means you understand that falling is not the same as being finished. It means you are learning to protect your future even after a weak moment. Many people stay stuck not because they fail, but because they stay away after failing. They turn one fall into a long season of giving up. Do not do that. Return quickly, return simply, return without needing drama. Just take the next right step. You must become the kind of person who can say, I fell, but I am back. That sentence has power. It removes the shame that keeps you trapped. It reminds you that your direction matters more than one mistake. It helps you stop making failure your identity. A person who returns is still in the fight. A person who returns is still growing. A person who returns is not controlled by the past moment. When you feel weak, remember that your future self is watching how you respond. Your future self will not need you to have been perfect. Your future self will need you to have kept going. Your future self will thank you for the days you did something instead of nothing. Your future self will thank you for the moments you chose the harder right action over the easy escape. Your future self will thank you for refusing to let weak feelings build a weak life. You may not see the reward immediately, but the reward is being built. Every time you act through weakness, you add strength to your character. Every time you keep one promise, you add trust to your mind. Every time you return after falling, you add resilience to your identity. These things may not show up in public right away, but they are shaping the person you carry inside. And the person you carry inside eventually shapes the life you live outside. This is why you must stop seeing weak moments as useless. They are not useless. They are training grounds. They are opportunities to become the kind of person who does not need life to feel perfect before taking action. They are chances to prove that your standards can survive low moods. They are chances to build a deeper strength than motivation. They are chances to become someone you can trust. So when weakness comes, do not immediately surrender. Pause, breathe, speak honestly to yourself. Say, I feel weak, but I can still do one thing. Then do that one thing. Do not wait for the feeling to disappear. Do not wait until you feel like a different person. Become the different person through the next action. You do not need a huge performance. You need honest movement. The person you become is built in these moments, not only in the easy days, not only in the inspired days, not only when everyone believes in you. You are built when you feel alone and still continue. You are built when you feel tired and still begin. You are built when you feel lazy and still choose effort. You are built when you feel afraid and still take the next step. You are built when you feel weak, but refuse to let weakness write the whole story. This is how a stronger life begins. It begins with small victories inside difficult feelings. It begins when you stop waiting to feel powerful and start acting with the little power you have. It begins when you stop using weakness as a reason to disappear and start using it as a place to train. It begins when you understand that every weak moment is asking a question: who are you becoming now? Answer with action. Answer with discipline. Answer with one honest step. Answer by doing what your future will thank you for. Because the person you become is not built by what you promise when life feels easy. The person you become is built by what you do when you feel weak.